Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.
Thanks, man. Thanks for doing it.
So
We're
cool.
psyched. We're very psyched to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, dude.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.
I
to
just
have
love
you.
the history, dude. When you talk, you know, because you put it all in my head. Miles was here. I'm so sorry. I'll just. It's serious, man.
1956.
New York, as a New Yorker, you
Yeah.
know, we walked through the city, and I got there like an hour. I got down here like half an hour early just to walk around.
Oh, okay.
What's gone? What's here? What's not here anymore?
Mm-hmm.
I remember there's a Chinese restaurant right around the corner. That when Anthrax, Missy, were you around back then when with Johnny Z?
We need to get Missy on the mic.
You want to Missy?
This is
I
Missy
can
Claus
get
on
Mike.
Megaforce Records
No?
with Robert.
No.
Yeah, so
Thank you,
I remember
Missy.
we celebrated a big, I don't know if it was the record deal, I don't know what it was a big deal. Johnny took us all out to Chinese food, and I remember getting sick that night. It was wonderful. It was a good night. I had really something bad, and I was throwing up the rest of the day, the next day. It was a great Chinese place.
Oh, okay. Highly recommended.
Highly recommend. It's closed now, obviously.
Yeah.
So there you go. Oh, here we are, back to life. All right.
So what's going on?
Reliving my youth, walking down here.
Yeah.
Well, first, it's the fun of Metro North, as we all know. Metro North, you get off. You know, I live in Westchester, so I come down. Metro North, all of a sudden, there's a water main break in the 60s up there somewhere.
Lincoln Center.
So therefore, everything in the city has to shut down. There's no trains. You have these people on the blowhorns. I don't know what they're saying. It can sound like anything you want it to sound like, dude, but it's like, where are we going with this? Nobody's getting any information. People are bumping into each other, which makes everybody angry. So there's about to be an assault somewhere. So I love New York. You know, that's what happens. But and then I got down here and I just reminisced. You have the Music Inn right around the corner. That music store, that's just a great place. I've been there a million times over. Have you been in there yet?
No, I don't think so.
It's just a little music shop around the corner,
Okay.
right next to the sexy place. Right there's a really cool sexy place next to it.
What's the sexy place?
The sexy.
I forgot the
I want to go to the sexy place.
It's a Pussycat. It's called Pussycat something. I remember a lifetime ago I went in there with some friends. And
me too.
Yeah. You're probably one of my friends back then.
I've been in there.
It was a good time.
Oh, the sexy place.
The sexy place.
Oh, okay.
It's free promotion for the Pussycat. I don't know what
I
it's
didn't want to
called.
be seen when I was in there, but yeah, I was in there.
Well, we were in there. And we were drunk, yeah. In fact, I've made donations of vomit all around this area along in my youth. So this was a great place to be around.
That's what's great about New York, I think. Like, because I've been here for about 25 years or something, and it's like all these different versions of your life when you're walking around and you have those memories, and like the streets kind of house all these memories.
Yeah, I mean, Bleecker Bob's, I just walked by where it used to be. And that breaks my heart. Bleecker Bob's, it was, you probably know, is a record store, famous record store forever. Bought all my records. We came down from the Bronx to come down here to Bleecker Bob's and buy everything. Every record in the world, they had it no matter what.
Right.
And when that closed down, that was a turn for me. It's like, man, all right, they're taking over. Money took over all of Manhattan, as we know. And I'm a little bitter about it, as you can tell through my voice. Those little great spots. That's why I'm surprised that music is still here. I still love that it's here.
And Matt Umanoff closed around the corner as well.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
gone.
that's what's said. You walk
Amazing
around,
guitars, but overpriced a little bit.
but you had to pay the rent though.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
That's the kind of
I
the way
got
you
a
look at it.
national from there.
Did
so,
you?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you actually went.
I still have it.
So that's awesome. See,
Yeah.
I used to go in there and check everything out, but never buy.
Yeah, because
You know?
it's just over the top. It's over the top.
But it was so cool.
Huh?
But it was so cool. Those places, man. But I mean, look at 48th Street.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to New York. 48th Street is all condos now.
Is that right?
That was the place my heroes all shopped, and I used to read like the guys from Kiss were looking, window shopping and stuff like that. First place I met Paul Stanley in my life was on 48th Street, and I think it was Manny's. Remember Manny's on 48th?
Of course.
Yeah, of course, Manny's. So I was just the kid, 15 years old, looking, aspiring to. I have to get that, that guitar, whatever it was at the time. I had no money, so I worked in the deli in the Bronx. So I just look, what do I want, and get inspired. I'm gonna save my money for that. And I had this 6-foot-something man next to me looking at the same guitar I was looking at.
And it was Paul.
It was Paul Stanley, man.
Damn.
The first time I met him, I had a high voice.
That would freak me
it was,
out.
it completely. I mean, I was this little kid too, and he's like this monster, and those are the days where they wore the heels outside, not only on stage.
Was he in
Even then he had
makeup?
them?
No makeup,
Okay.
no. But they wore.
Just rocking the makeup, shopping with the makeup.
Now that's a rock star,
That's
right?
commitment.
But he did. Those guys, him and Gene, used to wear the. I mean, Ace. I don't think Ace ever did, but Gene and Paul used to wear those 6-foot
platforms.
Yeah, 6-inch platforms,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
You do good Kiss impersonations. Don't
I have
you?
some fun with that. I've been, but I've gotten told to ceased a little bit.
Oh, really? You're not allowed to do it anymore?
Through some friends, not officially, but but we have some fun with it though.
It's
But
too fun. I mean, your Gene. I heard your Gene one. I didn't know if you did a Paul one. Or
Well, I
not.
do one with Greg Gast, the comedian. We had a great argument. We tried to get on Stern. Stern was talking about having us on, having an argument as Gene and Paul. He was going to do
That'd be
Gene,
perfect.
and I was going to do Paul and go right into character. How you doing? We're gonna. That guitar's beautiful. I want to have it. You could do all that stuff and go right into. And we have a. I think it was backstage.
Keep doing that. Can you do this whole interview with Paul?
So
It's just as Paul.
So I joined this band Anthrax a long time ago. I could write a lyric. It sounds like a Paul Stanley. A long time ago.
That's good.
That actually is. It actually is a Paul Stanley lyric.
Is it?
Yeah. We fell in love. It's all this stuff. It's on his solo record. Tonight You Belong to Me. That's pathetic that I know that.
No, it's not.
But I'm a diehard Kiss fan.
Me
so,
too, dude. Are you kidding?
Great. That's one. Ace's first solo record. That's
Yeah.
my favorite. And
New
then
York
Paul's.
Groove.
New York Groove.
I mean, New York Groove is a classic.
I'll give you a little tidbit on that. Do you know my guitar player Scott Ian?
Yeah.
Well, Ace Frehley,
No,
believe it or not. Yeah, you know of him. Well, we actually played, Scott and I played with Ace Frehley, New York Groove, at the opening of Yankee Stadium. Before it opened,
Damn.
before they asked Ace Frehley, and he asked us to jam it with him.
Wow.
It was all on tape, but it was great.
That's amazing.
So I played Yankee Stadium twice in my life now.
Yeah.
Just that
Big
was it.
Four
And then the Big
and-
Four.
yeah.
So it was kind of that wasn't officially that, but it was awesome, man.
That song
It's
has
cool.
it has some super mojo in it.
Yeah, I wish I had
The groove on that.
Don't
thing.
you wish you wrote that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the checks. The
Yeah.
mailbox checks are great.
Yeah.
And plus, it just keeps going too.
Yeah.
I know there's no more radio in New York, but rock radio. But
Yeah.
once in a while you hear it, and it's just nice to hear something brings you back a little bit.
Yeah.
A hit, a rock hit.
So that's how you came in through Kiss, basically.
Yeah, Kiss. Back in the day, growing up in the Bronx, no dad, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I grew up.
Made to be a rock star.
Yeah, searching, right? You're all searching.
Yeah.
You're searching for that,
Yeah.
that people like me,
Yeah.
all that stuff. That's what actors do.
I got
right?
this God-sized hole. Who's gonna fill it?
I can't fit that. I saw Kiss on stage. That's
Yeah.
Spotlight. That whole thing, and that's for all of us. I mean, that was a big deal. But
Yeah.
look, there was Zeppelin all back then. It was Sabbath,
Yeah.
but Kiss on stage. When I saw them on stage, I said, "That is what I want." Entertaining like that to that. That size. I mean, that was it for me. Make people feel I wanted people to feel like I felt.
Yeah.
So that's what made me feel. I mean, they had, for me, and I still say this to this day, I still think they had great songs.
Oh,
So people knock
that's
Kiss.
obvious, dude.
But didn't
That's
people?
come on.
I know, but didn't people
Like
knock
She?
Kiss?
What about She?
Dude,
Come
Kiss
on.
Anthrax covered She.
Yeah, oh, really?
I think we did a whole record full of Kiss covers. Believe me,
That's
dude.
cool.
But yeah, I know. She walks by moonlight and
Dun-dun-dun-dun,
she doesn't really know. Gene does that lower. That's awesome.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
That was just so much fun.
Enchanted starlight.
That's another lyric.
And then this line. When she takes off her clothes. Come on, dude. It's like.
Who wrote that lyric? Was Gene around there?
It's probably Gene, right?
When clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gene with girls and stuff. But Gene's calmed down over the years. I mean, he's
Yeah.
married and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
did you see the last? What do they call them? The farewell tour here. Have you
the-
seen that?
The current one?
The current
which
farewell.
one?
Well, I know. It started in '96. I know,
It's not over yet. They have dates in 2021.
2020.
yeah. But I did hear that they're going to finish it at the Garden.
Yeah, they
That
are.
finish.
With David Lee Roth
Really?
as the opener.
You know more. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you-
Well, he's opening now, David Lee Roth, right?
Right. Well, he just started Vegas
I
residency.
saw I didn't know there was a resident. I thought he was just playing Vegas. Did you know there was a residency for David? I didn't know all that.
That
stuff.
makes sense though.
I saw the set list.
He always
It
had
was
the
good.
vaudeville side to him, which was made him great.
He's Broadway.
When the balance is more rock than vaudeville, David Lee Roth is epic genius.
Absolutely.
When it goes vaudeville over rock, it goes a little pear-shaped.
Totally agree.
You know what I mean? But like it's that weird, delicate balance. It's
I remember
like-
seeing those guys. Have you seen Van Halen in the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the one thing about Roth, man, he held the people in the palm of his hands. I remember
one
being
of the
that
greatest.
kid. Dude, he'd just sit on the PA. You remember he sat on the PA. The guys would go off and drink and do blow, whatever they
Yeah.
did. And he would just sit on the PA like, so what the fuck is going on tonight? You know?
Right, yeah.
And he would just go off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'll tell you later. You know, I couldn't, I wanted to answer him. And
Yeah.
he
I'll
had
tell
me
you later.
I'll tell you later, man. We got to talk. And I
Yeah.
remember I waited outside to get a glimpse of him. This is 15, 16 years old. I was back then. And because I was a fan of this stuff. This was great rock star stuff.
Yeah.
The Van Halen, I found out, was staying right across the street from the Garden when they were playing. And I heard that they came out and I heard David Lee Roth was going to walk across the street from the hotel, whatever hotel that is.
Pennsylvania.
That's it, yeah. He would walk across the street right into the gig. That's what he wanted to do. That's what he did the other night. They played a couple of nights. So there's a big crowd of people. I was just one of the fans, just watching. I just wanted to see the spectacle.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, and this was in the day, Diver Down, all that stuff. It was
Right.
nuts. It was crazy time. So you hear from afar, you hear, hey guys, how you doing? You know, it's Roth, right? He comes
Yeah.
out and his whole thing, he's got his hair everywhere.
Yeah.
And what I didn't notice, what I didn't see until I saw people go, ow, ow, ow. And I see people going down and people in front, because I was in the back, I kept seeing people, ow, ow, and kept hearing, ow. People were getting hurt somehow. And he had these two small people, security dudes, punching people in their legs. I swear to God, I saw this. This was right in front of me. They wouldn't clear a path, so he was literally punching. They were two of them. Ow. And so you see the people run out, and you see them going down. I said, "What the hell is there? A disease here? What's going on?"
He hired two ninjas.
Genius.
And dude, he walked through, and nobody bothered him because they cleared their path. How's everybody doing? He just said nobody went up to him because they were afraid they're going to get hit.
Yeah.
But that was in that day. You can't do that now because there's lawsuits.
That's funny.
It was a good time though, but he walked right into the Garden, kicked ass.
Yeah.
That was Roth, you know.
That's amazing. It's interesting when like you talk about Kiss and then you associate that with the sort of missing father too.
Yeah, totally.
That struck me because everyone brings up, or most people from like our sort of generation bring up Kiss as like a benchmark, but I've never heard anyone kind of associate it with that, like needing a parental figure and how Kiss facilitated that.
And they fill the void.
How can you go deeper into that?
Yeah,
Like,
because
what do you think?
years of therapy
like,
helps me with this.
Right.
And I'll tell you exactly. You know what? Here's what it is. At that age, you're looking for heroes.
Right.
You need a hero.
Yeah.
And those guys, for me, were superheroes. And I've told Gene, I've told Paul this stuff, and they don't want to hear it anymore with me. But
oh, really?
Because I'm such a big fan, and what they did for me, they filled that void and made me believe in something. I guess I was scrambled up. This is after years of therapy finding this stuff. But I looked to them. I said, man, they are doing something what I want to do. As a father would, I guess, if you had a dad and showing, my dad's in, whatever he is, he's a stockbroker, whatever, I want to do that. They made me see, wow, I want to do that. They were doing something right that made me feel good. Yeah. And I feel that's really, it's a personal thing, but I'll always be thankful to them for that,
That's true. Me too.
Yeah.
I have a lot of love for him too.
Yeah. I don't see people like nail them now. I can't nail them now or make fun of them now. They've had this great career.
But not really. I mean, like some people do, but most people, I think, give it up.
I know. You just
know
gotta
what I
tip
mean?
your hat, dude. If I'm telling you right now, if you and I are 70 years old and playing Madison Square Garden, we're doing something
Fair
right.
play, right?
Fair play, right?
Exactly.
You have to learn when to tip your hat and say, great job. And,
no, of course.
and just seeing their career and what they've done.
Yeah.
God, they made so many people, enough of the money, whatever. The money's there, right? But they did something that nobody else was doing. I mean, they did the Alice Cooper thing, but they did it in a whole different, crazier way.
They blew it up.
Blew it up big time. And I don't think there'll ever be, there's a lot of people that try to do stuff like that. I don't think anybody will ever combine that like that. The great music, remember the great music.
Great songs.
And great songs. And, Anthrax, I'm babbling on about Kiss here, but Anthrax toured with Kiss on the Crazy Nights tour.
Oh, okay.
And, I used to look forward to going there early, and they give us sound checks. They were great. And I remember we used to wait outside the hallway of our dressing room because those guys used to walk by, and we'd talk, and he goes, Paul, and Gene would always come up and just goes, you know what it's all about, Frank? It's all, and we pulled out a wad of dough. It's all about this. It's all about the Benjamins, Frank. And, you know, and he was kidding, of course, but it was Gene.
But it's also like, you know, he takes flack for that take, but that's a very Andy Warhol take too.
Totally. And you get that.
It's
you get
like,
that,
you know,
yes.
it's the same thing as Andy Warhol was saying. Like,
Absolutely.
you know,
And it's honest. It's really honest.
In a way, it's honest, and in a way, it almost kind of somehow. It almost frees up the art in some kind of way. Like if you like strip it of any kind of pretension.
Yeah, that's
you
really
know?
That's deep. That's good.
Isn't
I like
that interesting?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
like and Andy Warhol was a genius in that way too.
Yeah.
It's almost like no, just like let's make this cheaper.
Yeah.
And somehow,
so open it up.
If somehow
Yeah.
you make it cheaper, it actually has a weird reverse psychology effect.
That's actually really smart.
You know what I mean?
like that. Yeah. That's going to make me think a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm going to take on my train ride home today. That
Yeah.
will be with me. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. So I for me with those guys, again, so we would do this Crazy Nights tour, and I remember during the day we.
How long was that tour?
About a month.
Okay.
And this was great. We were good
In
friends.
America, Europe?
America,
Okay.
all around America. And you got to remember, Anthrax is different than Kiss, but we had
Very,
a buzz, you know.
yeah.
So I think we scared some people coming in. And that's great. That's all good.
Yeah.
But I remember getting there early during the days, and Gene would always be doing something with guitars. And one day he was at our crew. He was just hanging out with our crew and playing our guitars. And he was just going, and it looked like the Archies. He was holding it so high on him. It was Gene Simmons with his high guitar, and he was playing songs, Beatles songs.
Right.
He was going through Beatles songs, and he was saying, and so you know what it became. You know where I got this song from? And he would name a song, like whatever song he wrote. He goes, I got this from this song, this Beatles song, and this Beatles. He would go out and name the Beatles songs where he got. He was so heavily influenced from Beatles.
That's wild.
And it just, and then it all makes sense to you. That's why Kiss is great.
Yeah.
You know, it's because they went to the Beatles. They tapped that well, and they, you know, and I love it. I love the way they did it. They borrowed.
Yeah.
It's
Did you hear Aussie's new song?
I heard it. Yes.
It's very Beatles.
It's very Beatles. You know what?
Kind of Beatles and sort of Oasis-y.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Oasis too, which is not a bad thing.
I love Oasis too.
Me
So again, if you love the Beatles, anything
Yeah.
that pays tribute to any of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I'm going to push
Right.
and say, look, because more people, please listen to this, everybody.
Yeah.
Listen to the Beatles. More
Yeah.
people should listen to the Beatles.
That's true.
You know, in this life, and I
Yeah.
think people will be better off for everything.
Everybody loves. We just interviewed Al Di Meola for the podcast, and he just
Awesome.
made his second Beatles tribute record. And
You know,
so he's all about the Beatles right now.
I didn't know
too.
he was a diehard like that.
Yeah, I didn't really
Huge
either.
fan.
I was a
You would
huge.
never see that. You would never think
Yeah,
that.
he's
All he
big.
talks
Big
about.
fan.
I met him once. He was a really
Yeah.
nice man.
He is
Yeah,
cool
he's
as hell.
really-
I really loved him.
Is he deep? Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was really deep.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
But he
we
can
went
go
to
out.
his house.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah, in his studio and stuff.
Is it all done up? I can't imagine. It must
Pretty
be
dope.
like.
Yeah,
see,
it's amazing. It's actually like where you would want Al Di Meola to live.
see, that's cool. That's,
Well, we walked in and Joe saw his guitar and he was like,
So the black Les Paul that was on the cover of like Elegant Gypsy
Yeah,
Suite.
I know that you're talking about,
Like,
yeah.
you know, Race
Yeah.
with the Devil on the Spanish Highway and all that.
does he want to
shit.
sell that one or?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I'll
we could
ask
have
him.
walked out with it.
Yeah, we're gonna go back actually because I'm gonna teach him how to use a loop pedal.
Oh, he doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know. Like, and I'm like, dude, you're like the guy that should be looping, like, because his sense of rhythm is
Yeah, 'cause
crazy.
He just has it. Though.
And
He,
he-
could
yeah.
fit everything in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He fits everything in.
Yeah, but
It's
he
awesome.
says he wants some. He's interested in having an accompaniment. Like he's interested in.
Oh, he's experimenting now.
Yeah,
That's cool. So
experimenting,
you
yeah.
never age. See, I love that. You never age. You just keep growing.
You are like that. I hear you.
Thank you.
And always talking about how you're still hungry, and then also altitudes and attitude.
Yeah.
Is that how I say it?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, because
Yeah.
sometimes I think
It's very hard to
attitude
say.
and altitude.
We
yeah.
call it A&A for short.
A&A.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Yeah, like that's a vital record.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. The songs are great on that.
Thank
Are you
That's
writing
really-
those
coming
songs?
from you? Thank you so much from that.
I'm-
that sincerely, that feels good.
Oh
Thank you.
man, I mean it.
I thank
Are
you.
you writing those songs?
Yes,
Damn,
most of
dude.
them. Yeah, other than two of them. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
Great work on that.
That was a lot of time. You know, you have all this stuff built up.
Yeah.
And being in the band Anthrax, you can't put songs like that on the record.
No,
You can't-
yeah. Well, they're hard, but they do seem more poppy.
Yeah.
More, this is like I mean this in a good way. I don't know if you're gonna take this the bad way, but it would remind me of like almost like a harder version of the Foo Fighters.
I take that as a great compliment.
Okay, good, because it's meant that way, and because it's like it's real great songs, you know, and it's like, and it's also somebody coming from a band that's like, oh, that guy writes killer songs.
Thanks,
like,
man.
Yeah,
coming from you, that means a lot to me. And to tell you the truth, it's when I hear people, even Anthrax fans, say that wow, I didn't know you had this in you. That is the ultimate payback right there, you know, because I never did this.
Yeah. Well, what's cool too is it's got a hardcore thing. Is that what you? I don't even know like the different facets of how you classify metal, but it's got a hardcore thing, but it also is like a guy like dealing with like an old, like somebody of our age, like dealing with those issues in the lyrics and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude.
Which is different.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for that. And for me, lyrically, get it out. I mean, that's why the record's called Get It Out.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm like, even now, I'm writing now, and I'm going through some serious, like family, life stuff, you know.
Yeah, me too.
My mom's sick, so I'm going through all that stuff.
Right.
And I can't believe the stuff that's coming out. Lyrically, I'm like, oh my, maybe that's too personal.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you ever do that? You ever do like, maybe that's too much, and people aren't gonna, I'm sorry, I just spit on you.
That's all right.
But I'm getting emotional. But you ever just want to pull it back, and they say, no, I shouldn't pull it back, because maybe somebody else is feeling this and needs help with dealing with it. Maybe it could help somebody.
Have you ever read this book by Brene Brown called Daring Greatly?
No.
Well, this author, Brene Brown, she also gives like TED Talks on vulnerability. It's kind of exactly what you're talking about.
Wow.
And how like the power of vulnerability, and how like that is where our courage is, you know, in being vulnerable. Like what's seen, you know, especially like for dudes, like, oh, it's weakness, but it's not. It's the opposite. It's courageous to be vulnerable. Yeah.
Don't you feel the need to get, and for me, I need to, it's like cathartic.
Yeah.
It's totally cathartic to get it out and literally just, look, you could be crying during lyrics, whatever it is, but if a musical piece makes you feel like that, and this, I can let it out now on this.
Yeah.
It's the platform.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel like with Altitudes and Attitude. It was a great platform just to get all of my, you know, my father taken off, all that stuff. Then you have the abandonment issue. I have a lot of abandonment issues, obviously. I'm all screwed up, but a lot of therapy. But I think music is a great therapy. It gets it. It gets it to a good place where you can almost balance it out. Even for people, a really good friend of mine, he wrote me the other day and it really hit me. My friend Tim, I didn't expect this from him. He said a song I did, it was a hidden track on an Anthrax record. It was from my brother Anthony, who passed away and he was murdered. It was a horrible story. Long story short, cathartically, I needed to get this out. And Anthrax, they were great enough for me to let it on a B-side. It wasn't an Anthrax song at all, but it was a hidden track that a lot of people found, and a lot of people dealing with their loss. It helped a lot of people. So a good friend of mine, just last week, he hit me up with this. He goes, I want to let you know I never told you this, but it really made me feel better about things. And then for me, that's it. I'm done. That's really, what else do you need?
That's it.
What else do you need? You don't. There's not $1 million in that.
Yeah.
That's the $1 million for me.
Yeah.
That's what you need. You know.
That's true.
So it makes you want to do the next part. Doesn't want to make you write more songs.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
When you get an inkling that what you do can help others, there's no better motivation.
No drug, right? No drug can do that.
And it makes you want to take responsibility for your own life too, and like really make sure you take care of yourself, and like, because I find that I can be more giving, more courageous, more vulnerable the stronger I am and the better I'm doing. Like when I like go 2 steps forward, I take a step back and start doing old behavior, addictive bullshit or whatever.
Right.
I get weak. I start like hiding away.
Yeah.
And then like it's like it's fucked up. But then it makes me go like, nah, man, I got to get the eye of the tiger back. I got to get my shit together.
Because you've been there, right? Because I want that back.
Yeah,
I'm not going back.
I want that back.
I want that back, and that's the hunger. You just found the hunger.
The hunger,
there.
yeah.
I love that hunger.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
It's
totally addicting. I can't wait to get back into that place. Like you're in a writing mode. You get in writing modes, right?
I'm in one right now.
Me too. I love that place.
That's the best place. It's the best.
So to talk to you for me right now is big, because I totally see where you're at. You know where I'm at, and it's like, wow, I feel like something good is going to happen. You know, you just looking forward to something.
Right.
That's a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
a big deal.
It's something to be very grateful for.
Yeah.
It's all the work you do, like the therapy and all that, is to kind of maybe land you in that place where you can be sort of in the flow state.
I believe
because
you're right.
all the self-destructive bullshit, all the other stuff gets you out of the fear. It's basically faith and fear. Like
Totally.
if you're like wrapped in fear, you can't move. It's
Yeah.
like you're just in this toxic
Yeah.
goo.
You're frozen, and you
Yeah.
can't experiment.
But
You
so-
can't experiment. You can't
Yeah.
even move. Sometimes
Right.
you can't move. And you said the right thing. Courage. It's all about just
Yeah.
dipping the toe in the water and let it one step at a time. I mean, even that you've probably been like this. You just don't. Some days you want to pick up a guitar. You don't want to pick up a guitar.
There's like some years I don't want to pick up a guitar, dude. It's like more than days.
I know.
It's like
It's so true.
You know,
Dude.
I mean, and then when you get the flow state back going, you're just like, this is not that hard. What the fuck? What
was I
was the
doing?
head game that I played for the last 5 years that like prevented this or whatever it was? You know what I mean?
I think it was more. Sometimes you're going into like a depression, some kind of, sometimes
depression is a big thing.
So
Yeah.
I also say to myself sometimes, did I have to watch all those Andy Griffith shows in a row, and just you're getting to that zone, and so you're not getting away from the TV.
Andy
it's like because I'm an
rabbit
old
hole.
school. Yeah, I'm an old school.
No, I get it.
But,
yeah, like when you're just sitting around procrastinating for
Totally.
20 years.
it's like, what are you doing,
It's like, dude, come on,
dude?
please get off the fucking couch, dude.
And it is, and I hate. You sound like you feel like a bum. You feel like a bum, and you say you're a bum, right?
Oh,
like,
man.
all right, but I know something good. This will get me, it'll get me built up to get there.
Yeah.
But, like when I come off an Anthrax tour, I don't see a bass.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because all
Yeah.
you do is play all day.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't play all day. When I go to the show, I pick up a bass and you start
a
playing.
lot,
Then
yeah.
the show, and then you kind of, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm good. And then you just want to, when I go home, it's like, this just chill now. You know,
Yeah.
let it all rebuild again. Maybe that's it. You want to rebuild that hunger. you
Yeah.
know? And then the creative thing, like when you play live, here's my interview for you.
Okay.
When you play live, do you have to cut off the writing portion, like the creative? Like, do you just have to go into that zone? Are
Nah.
there two different zones?
Not really. Not necessarily.
That's interesting.
I don't know how related it is.
Okay.
Like, it's not clear cut for me. Like, there are definitely times when I've been on tour and haven't written anything.
So you
And
do
then
write
there's
on tour?
Yeah, because I guess I'm in the state more, but
Yeah.
not recently, I guess.
Right.
Back in the day I did, but I'm just finding songwriting again, I feel like,
That's great.
just now.
So how does that feel? Like,
It feels amazing.
does it roll? Does it roll in one to
It's
another?
just I'm not overthinking it. I'm just
Yeah,
writing,
yeah.
and you just like you write more song, like just write another song,
And don't judge.
and don't judge it,
Yeah.
and don't just write a fragment and then stop. Actually, fucking finish it.
Yeah.
But it's so simple until it's impossible.
Yeah.
That's and then it's like
It's so
It's
simple
so-
until it's impossible.
That's
It's
a
so
good line.
That's a good line, dude. Because you go back, and for me, I have to keep going. I'll just finish it, as you said. That's a great point. You
Yeah.
finish it, but if you're not happy with it, you find yourself going back to it and say, I don't like that one part, and I'll just keep trying something over
Yeah.
it. I have to finish it, and then try different things if I wasn't really secure with it.
Yeah.
But that's just what happens. I don't look too deep into it, but sometimes I'll just leave it. You ever put stuff away
Oh, of course.
and not go back? And they say, all right, remember that?
Yeah.
And then I like that riff from that, and you start piecing together, right? That works too.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting with you with the live part. So the live part, like when you play a show, would you go home? Did you go into the hotel that night? Would you start writing right there?
I mean, I have more back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't more done that as recently, I don't think.
Yeah, because when I go back to the hotel now, or the bus,
Yeah.
number one, there's other people on the bus.
Yeah, you just want to chill.
Just want to have a beer or whatever you do, and coffee, whatever, and then just hit your bunk. Because
Yeah.
when it gets loud, and I just don't want to deal with people.
Right.
And just bunk and start the next day. But
Yeah.
the mornings are creative. Are you creative in the mornings?
More recently.
Yeah, because
That's like
you get older.
You get older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the morning time.
Yeah, dude. Because
Yeah.
I get up at 6 in the morning with the kid. Send them
Right.
off to school. I drive them to school 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, try to get these love handles off, and then I go right into the guitar.
Yeah.
Only if I feel it, though. If you pick it up. If you don't feel it, all
Right.
back later. That's just the way it feels.
Yeah.
And I don't try to push it. Yeah. But
Yeah.
what does your day consist of? I like this.
Well, okay, I do yoga every day.
Yes.
I went to hot yoga before this.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you like hot yoga?
I do hot yoga.
Nice. And
yeah.
Here's a question.
Uh-huh.
I mean, not to sound disgusting.
Okay.
Because I went to a hot yoga class once.
Uh-huh.
This is why I don't go to hot yoga anymore.
Okay.
Because I'm just being honest. The man in front of me was a man.
Uh-huh.
He had no underwear on.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, he had no underwear on. That's all I'm going to say. And he had loose shorts. That's all I'm going to say. And things were dripping.
Oh, no.
And that's disgusting in every way. And the visual is even worse, right? But imagine being there.
Well,
I'm sure I'm sure there's a lot of great clean classes around, but this man shouldn't have been there. That's a true story.
that's unfortunate. Maybe you should try again. I brought Ehud there
I
one
did it
time.
once.
He did it once.
What do
It
you think?
wasn't that hot.
What do you mean? It wasn't hot in the.
I wasn't sweating.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he doing it wrong? Is that why?
No, I think I did.
No, he did good, actually.
Yeah?
It was
Yeah.
the first and only time I've ever tried yoga.
Yeah. I do yoga three times a week, and I belong to Bally, so it's one of those classes.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's one of
Yeah.
24-hour fitness, what the gym's called, and I've been going to her forever. That actually helps me stretching wise because
Yeah.
I'm 54 now, so it's.
Oh,
not,
really?
yeah.
You're looking good, dude.
Thank you. Oil Volet.
Yeah.
It's no.
But I do, like, I'm super into all kinds of athletics. I box as well.
You box?
And I run. I
Awesome.
run with these barefoot running shoes.
Here's a question. I was not gonna comment on those shoes until just now.
Yeah. I mean, they're goofy as
No,
hell. but
no offense.
They're fun,
no.
though.
But are they comfortable? Do they hurt?
Oh, they're
like
so
you get corns,
comfortable, dude.
You know? I'm just
It's
thinking,
like wearing nothing. It's
Really?
just like walking around the city barefoot.
Wait,
It's
you could
fucking rad.
run in them?
I run in these. I run 5 miles in them.
See, that looks like a broken ankle to me.
Well,
It does. It looks like you would get those. What are they called? I don't even
people
know.
on the podcast are going to hate that I'm going to explain this again because I've done it like 14 times.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
No, the concept is you have to retrain the way you run. You run more gazelle, like you don't heel strike, and so all of a sudden you develop all these kind of muscles in your lower legs that like you can't believe how
From them.
from them.
Wow.
And what it ends up happening is you end up protecting your knees and your hips and your back because you're not like the big padded shoes create like heel striking and then you don't have the sensitivity of your feet. Your feet are perfectly designed to run already. And it's like humans try to like, oh, we can improve upon this, but they've really fucked it up. Because then you like heel strike and you hurt your knees and your hips and that's where all the injuries come from, the big padded shoes. That's the theory behind them.
Never knew it.
And then so
Learning
if you
today.
retrain how to run, you run more gazelle like. You're more sensitive to your knees and your hips and your spine, and then the foot takes more of the impact. But so the impact is more evenly spread throughout.
Wow.
So it's counterintuitive. You would think that would be like more
course,
dangerous,
yeah.
but it's actually not. Is the theory?
I would wear them on stage, but I'd probably get beat up.
Right. I know. I've worn a different kind of barefoot running shoe on stage, one that has like a wide toe box.
Yeah.
But
I need because the support on stage is
But
vital at this point in my life.
This biologist told me the brain arose to facilitate movement.
Really?
Isn't that fucking fascinating?
Wow. Deep.
So, like, because I got into athletics a lot, and I sort of, you kind of can put it down, like, oh, what am I, superficial? I'm just worried about, like, getting in shape, and now what am I, just a dumb athlete guy? Like, but actually, like, when he told me that, like, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the only organisms that move have brains, and there's this organism in the sea that moves and has a nervous system, and then it attaches itself to a rock where it's never going to move again, and it digests its own brain and nervous system because it's like we don't need you anymore. Like, so the purpose of the brain is movement. So when you really think of that, that's why when you're running or when you're doing yoga or whatever kind of exercise you're doing, sometimes the best ideas come because you're utilizing your brain for its real purpose.
That's a good point because they do come when I'm in the gym. That's
right.
what they do.
That's like
exactly what
best
happens.
ideas happen.
Very good, man.
Right?
Wow, I would say I'm learning a lot today.
That's
I
good.
appreciate this.
Yeah.
No, because look, and anything that releases that magic,
Right.
I'm trying.
Well,
you know?
that's the thing. It relates to what we were saying earlier about just getting into that flow state.
Yeah.
The more you do, like therapy, movement, exercise that can push you towards that easy flow state where you just sit down and it's like, oh, this song just like fell out of the sky.
Yeah.
You know, because those are the best moments when a
love
song
that.
is like 15, takes 15 minutes to write, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's pretty much perfect. Let me just change this line.
And it's done.
Done.
I love done.
You know,
I love
buttoned
done.
it up.
Yeah.
Buttoned
Yeah.
up.
I love
you
that.
know? That's the best.
Yeah. Do you? And that's a good question for you here. Do you, when you have that, do you not look at it again? You know it's done, or do you question it afterwards?
I mean, I'll question it a little bit, but
Yeah.
usually it's like
And what, lyrically or musically? What would you do?
Well, okay. In the example, I just actually wrote and recorded a song yesterday, and I love it. But it's 3 chords and it has no changes. So sometimes that's killer.
Yeah.
And then so the only question I had is like, oh, should I put a bridge in it or should I have changed it? So just it'll be a little question like that, and then I'll go like, nah, whatever.
But you know, that's a good point. But sometimes you have to leave it. Listen to one of what I feel is one of the best songs for me ever written. I mean, you two have this song, With or Without You. One pattern.
Yeah.
One do 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 do.
Yeah.
Through the whole song.
There's
nothing else. There's no bridge.
Yeah.
There's no anything. So imagine
can
touching.
work.
It can totally work if you just
totally
leave
work.
it alone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not overthinking.
Exactly.
Imagine if they would have overthought that.
Right.
You know, because I truly think it's just the passion in that song for me is like, wow, it's right here. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I just loved it. It was just simple. I love simplicity and just a great melody on top of it. You know.
Who were your were they one of your early favorite bands?
U2. Yeah, you know, in the early days of Anthrax also, I mean, when we got into this whole band thing, we were on Island Records, Island Megaforce.
Right.
And I used to get all the U2 CDs for free. I remember we went to, remember Compass Point? You know, Compass
That
Point.
was like when you first get a record deal and when you go in and you get all the free shit. That blows your fucking mind.
I was
like,
getting
wait,
everything.
I'm getting all these free CDs. What the fuck?
It was the best stuff. My friends would go, hey, "Can you get me this?" Yes, no problem. That was the days. Man.
Yeah.
But
Salad
that doesn't.
days.
Yeah, that was awesome. But so anything that U2 came out with, I had, and they were blowing up huge at that time too. So. I just found that band, when we went to Compass Point, I remember they were just finishing recording. We just missed them. I was a diehard fan anyway back then. And I met them once, Giant Stadium. They played Giants, whatever you call it now, MetLife.
360 tour?
Yeah. No, it was what was the one, the dancing one, the disco looking one.
Discotheque?
Pop? Was that Pop?
Pop.
It was Pop. I met him on that tour. And
Long time ago.
And I remember our security went to their security. Our security man, our security guy, went to their whole thing, and he took over their thing, and he invited me down. He knew I was a diehard, so he invited me, Charlie, a couple other guys down, and they invited us backstage. And I don't belong backstage at a U2 show because I'm not famous enough, number one, for that stuff. And I know, so I'm all intimidated going in because I don't know what the hell I'm going to say. But I walk in. And you have it's everybody that's famous in New York. There's Springsteen over here. It's just everybody's there.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell are we
Lou
doing?
Reed was Lou Reed.
Lou Reed was somewhere in the back. I was so intimidated. I forgot every song. I didn't know one U2 song at this point. Everything just blew out. And the first person that came up to me was Bono, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Bono." He didn't know. Hi, Frank, and play for a band called Anthrax, blah, blah, blah. He goes, "Oh, you know the Edge has all your records?"
Oh, really?
I swear to God. And then went over. So Edge started to talk to Edge.
Amazing,
and,
dude.
Man, dude. He goes, "Yeah, like this." And he started pointing things out. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It made me feel great. And it made me feel like I belonged there.
Yeah.
And then have a total bass night with Adam.
Oh, really?
Talked for bass stuff for 2 hours too long. It was a great night. It was just a wonderful night. But it just shows you those guys, as big as they are, they were still real people.
Right.
I really, I learned a lot that night.
Yeah.
I said, there's no reason. I would never want to be an idiot anyway. But those guys at that level, it's like they just treat everybody human. And I love that. So there's no reason to be a jerk.
That's true. Yeah.
It's hey, look, this business. Have you ever run into like the idiots? Like you ever run into one of your favorite people, your favorite musicians, like you've idolized? I've done that with a couple of people, but
and they bummed you out.
And they bummed me out big, and now I would never say hello to them again, ever.
Right.
I can't mention them, but I would never say it again. Have you ever done that with anybody that bummed you out?
I'm sure, but I probably just like put it out of my mind.
Yeah, you don't
I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's not one that like stands out.
Yeah, there's a couple, but I probably get sued if I said it.
You
So I
know.
can't. I don't want to
Yeah.
say it, but it was so traumatic to me. I'm like,
Really?
why would you be like that to a person who says, "I like what you do"? You know, and I wasn't. All I was asking. There was no pictures in those days. I was just a little kid, and I just
Right.
wanted an autograph.
Yeah.
But I guess he was in a bad mood. It was a he.
You never know the
Who
mood.
was it?
There was one. Read the book. But yeah, it was a rough one. It was a
Wow,
rough one,
must
yeah.
have been rough.
I'll tell you off. I'll tell you off radio.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it was a rough one.
Not David Lee Roth.
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
David Lee Roth. You know, here's a,
Naming everyone. We'll land on it.
here's a funny
It
another.
wasn't Gene Simmons, was
No,
it?
it wasn't.
Steve-
It wasn't Gene Simmons.
Steve Harris?
No, Steve Harris. Here's a funny story with Steve Harris. You have a
Okay.
second or no? Okay.
We got
well, we-
more than a second, dude.
Yeah, we're doing a podcast, bro. It's all just about gabbing.
Steve Harris. And here's the true story. You know, Electric Lady around the corner.
Yeah.
Electric
Yeah.
Lady. Well, and again, this is growing up in New York. Hearing you have your people.
Steve Harris, bass player for Iron
Maiden, everybody should know that.
Most people
Yes.
should know that, but a lot of people won't.
Yeah, but I'm a diehard, so
Yeah,
you should
me
know that.
too.
Yeah. So long story
He's
short,
got the triple technique,
Triple
finger
triple
technique,
but
the gallop.
You know, and here's a question: you say the gallop, but you know, and now I'm friends with Steve. Luckily,
Wow.
After all these years,
He's
and
an old hero of mine.
Yeah, totally. He's a great dude too. You know the triple thing you just talked about,
Yeah.
the gallop,
Mhm.
and I've always said. One of the first things that I've asked him, I said, "You do triplets with both fingers, right? You use 3 fingers."
Yeah.
He goes, "No, I use 2 fingers."
But he just doubles one up.
He doubles one up. He plays these 2 fingers, the middle finger and the ring finger, as one.
Oh.
It doesn't really hit. It just looks like it's hitting.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was one of my kid things I had to know. But
I didn't know that.
yeah. So long story short, I had heard from one of my peeps in New York that he was mixing Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. And remember that record, Iron Maiden? Yeah, he was over here at Electric Lady. So I was going to go downtown and meet Steve Harris. I don't care. You know, first time, blah blah blah.
How old were you?
Again, this is at his time, 15, 16, something like
Yeah.
that. Again, we went on.
How would you find out that these guys were doing that?
I have my sources. I do. I have a lot of friends. Actually, a friend at that time worked down the road at a record store, and he saw Steve walking by.
Okay.
And he says he must be at Electric. See, this is how people talk. This is before computers and
Right.
texting and all that stuff. He called me up, right?
Right.
So long story short, I went down with a couple of my friends, and it was a freezing day in Manhattan. 10 degree. It was one of those biting cold days, right? So, you know, Electric Lady has that brick outside, and there's a little camera there that has a little window there, and you have to ring. So, you know, we're freezing. We're waiting outside. And half an hour comes. I don't give a damn. I'm going to ring the bell. Is Steve Harris here? Nobody's going to tell you. Just a 16-year-old guy. Steve Harris here? I'm a fan, blah, 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 blah. You can't come in. No, he's not here. He's around the guy told me he's around the block eating. So what do? A couple of me and my friends, we go around the block. And you know the Comedy Cellar?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What's the restaurant on top of it?
The Olive Tree Cafe.
Olive Tree Cafe.
Damn, Hooter.
Dude, very good. Good calling. You've been there before.
Fuck's sake, bro.
You know, the Mediterranean platter with
Nice.
the hummus and the falafel.
Nice work, dude.
That's good stuff, though. I've eaten
Come
there.
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And this is why I think that place is, for me, I know it's comedy. That's a Comedy Cellar. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's popular. It's famous.
Back then, it probably wasn't. It was
It-
probably the
no.
real fucking deal.
It was the real deal back then. So I'm looking at that, and I look up in the olive tree, and it's Steve eating by himself. He's just eating by himself, and he sees a bunch of there's 4 or 5 of us, the guys with leather jackets on, freezing our asses off, literally freezing, and we're just looking at this guy eat. This poor guy's eating. We're just like staring at him, and we must look pathetic. I'm sure we did, right? So, and this is how cool this dude is, man. So he's eating. He's in mid bite, and he sees. He goes, waves us in. Waves us in. So after that,
That's amazing.
handshake. We were freezing from the cold, and I'm nervous about meeting Steve Harris. So long story short, he comes in. He goes, "Sit down, boys." Invites us all to dinner. Buys us all dinner the
Nah.
whole night. Conversation, dude. We're about a good hour and a half.
Are you
It was
kidding?
how great of an experience is that?
What
Just
a
to,
guy.
That's surreal.
That man is the same man I know today.
That's
He's
amazing.
always been that guy. He's
And
never
did-
changed.
And did you, like, as an older person, like, talk to him about that memory?
Steve remembers everything.
And what
he
it-
remembers, yeah, mate, that's just no other way to be. And that's the way it is. I've never seen him mistreated.
What a great guy.
He's the best. He's
Fucking love
again, he's
hearing
one of
that.
those guys who said, that's a rock star who should be like everywhere. You know, people should. That's the way he should be treated. That's the bottom line. And I've learned a lot through that. Iron Maiden taught Anthrax a lot. How to tour, how to treat people, how to do it the right way. That's why they're still around and bigger than ever now.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
Did you tour with them at all?
A lot.
Oh, you
Anthrax
did?
has toured a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Especially with Iron Maiden. It's funny because you have a quick. No, you guys have a little time. I'll give you another story.
We got hours.
Hours. I like this. So, Iron Maiden story with Anthrax in Europe. We did three months in the States with Iron Maiden, and this is one tour. And we had a couple of weeks off, and we did 3 months in Europe, all straight, nonstop touring. So this is on.
Don't you fly on their plane? Like,
Yeah, we did.
doesn't Bruce have
Bruce,
has his pilot's
Yes,
license?
we did.
and
And that's the weirdest. Yeah, I'll go back to the other story.
Okay,
But I'll
sorry,
give you. No,
yeah.
because there's a couple of good stories there. There's a couple of good stories. So let me go to the plane thing first. But
Okay.
Iron Maiden invited.
Don't forget the first
I
thing.
won't.
'Cause then
Anthrax
people
was
get mad at me.
Anthrax was invited. I have to tell you this because this is so great. Anthrax was invited to South America, do the whole South American tour with Iron
Wild.
Maiden, which is insane. You know, they're gods there.
What year?
This was a couple of years ago.
A couple years ago. Oh, okay.
This is awesome. Right?
Right.
Nobody expected this to come out of, the beginning of our record cycle. This was starting. It was awesome. So Bruce, what we didn't know, was flying the plane.
Right.
And then playing.
You didn't know that? I even knew that.
I didn't know he was
I
playing.
know that he flies a plane.
Yeah, but dude, I don't know if I trust the pilot, and I'll give you the whole other story
Yeah.
later on.
No,
it
that
gets
would
better.
freak me out too,
Dude,
though, by the way.
because I know
I'd be like,
Bruce is pretty, dude.
Like, Bruce, you're great and all, and this is your hobby and shit, but I don't know if I'm ready to put my life on the line.
He's energetic, right?
Yeah.
He's energetic, but you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Can we just get the guy that works for United to
Yeah.
fly this?
There's a co-pilot, though. He's not alone up there. Let's back up.
I have a story for you later. I've been in that cockpit. Believe me, I'm going to tell you a story after this. So
Steve Harris was the co-pilot.
Yeah, I was just about to say. That's Steve
that would
Harris,
actually be
bro.
good. Imagine Nico. Nico's crazy, so I can't imagine Nico in a
Nico
cockpit.
has a drum kit in the co-pilot seat.
So these guys, they invited us, and again, we're playing stadiums with Iron Maiden. I mean, they don't need Anthrax by any means, you know,
Right.
so they were great. So they invited us on the plane with them also, which is a huge plane. There's 3 bands. We had Raven Age, that's Steve's son's band, which is a really good band. If you haven't
okay.
checked them out, they're a really
Haven't
good
heard
band.
them yet.
They're called Raven Age. It's Anthrax and then Iron Maiden. Just 3 bands, all band crews, and all of our gear, all Iron Maiden's production, all that huge production they have, fit into one plane. And so Bruce flew this plane. I mean, not every night, but most nights he flew this huge plane. So they gave us business class seats. I mean, we were so spoiled after that, dude.
They better give you business class. It's their own damn plane. Imagine they put you in coach. It's like, come on, bro.
Last row before the bathroom seat doesn't recline. Those are the Anthrax seats.
That's the Anthrax row.
I was kind of worried about that, you know.
Oh,
I was like,
man,
man,
come
I don't want the back seat near the bathroom. I was
Yeah.
totally worried about that. But it turns out that even the coach seats where the other band was, Raven Age, they were younger guys and stuff, so
Right.
they understood. There was just so much room there because it was only the band and crew, and it was a plethora of other seats there.
It's just
So
empty rows.
empty-
You're just camping out on empty rows.
And it was a big party. You can go back and the drinks.
Yeah.
You know, they had Iron Maiden beer.
Right.
So everything.
Trooper.
It was awesome. It was the Trooper beer. It was just a great experience. So then, that tour is ending, and this is the culmination of it all. So I live in New York, as you know. So they just so happen Iron Maiden is flying back to New York. So, of course, I put the word in. I said, look, I'm going to kiss ass for anything. So I tell my tour manager, look, can you get me in on that flight? They say yes. I'm so psyched, man, after that. So I get in. I'm sitting. It's just now my band is not there anymore. So it's just Frank Bello from Anthrax
Right.
and Iron Maiden. And that's it. It's awesome, right?
Right.
So I'm so psyched. I'm sitting, having my drink, having my Trooper beer, right? And midway through, and it's coming up to getting near JFK, and the flight attendant taps me on the shoulder. She goes, "Bruce wants to see you upstairs." I said, "Why? Why? Am I in trouble?" No. She goes, "He wants you to come in the cockpit." I said, "I'm good." I said straight up, because I'm petrified. I'm
right.
petrified. I don't want to see us landing. It's Bruce. Look, no disrespect to Bruce, but Bruce is flying. Right, and he's been good so far, but I don't want to jinx it. Right,
Right.
So, I said, I literally politely said,
No,
I'm okay, thank you. She goes, "No, he really wants to see you." How does Bruce know me? So I didn't think I knew him that well that he really wanted to see me.
Right.
So apparently I have to go up because otherwise I'm never getting on another Iron Maiden tour.
You got to at this point, dude. There's no two ways about it. You're going to the cockpit, bro.
Then I go upstairs. I'm going to the cockpit, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to.
Right.
And no disrespect. I don't need to be in a cockpit ever in my life. I don't want to do that. There's too many things coming at you.
Yeah.
I don't need it. So I go up. So you have to understand, Iron Maiden, the guys, the band, has the upstairs lounge, right? And you had to walk through them. They're up there like first class.
Right.
So we walked up through. So I had to walk up through them. Hey, Steve. I'm saying, hey, Nico. Hey, Dave. I'm saying hello to the guys. They go, you going in there? And trying to razz me up. I'm saying, yeah, he wants me in. I'm gonna go sit. And I swear to God. So the flight attendant opens the door, and it looks like pandemonium's going on in there.
Really?
There's papers everywhere flying. There's a co-pilot here. There's Bruce there. Bruce is flying the plane, but he's like this. He's looking and he's literally throwing papers. I'm like, there's no way I'm going into this cockpit. There's no way. And they're literally looking for.
Why are there papers flying around?
They're trying.
Looking for the landing manual.
That doesn't even.
You left. You hit it on the head.
Oh no.
They're looking for a flight pattern.
You fucking kidding?
I swear to God, they're looking for a flight pattern. And Bruce looks back at me, and he looks back at me. He goes, "I figured you'd be here for today. The worst flight ever." And I'm like, "Oh."
Oh man.
He goes, "Have a seat, mate." I'm like, "Oh." So right behind Bruce. So see this table right in front of me? You're Bruce Dickenson, and you're turned around. I'm in back of you watching what he's doing. He's still flying papers up. They can't find the flight pattern to JFK. And I'm like, "What the hell?" He goes, "Oh, don't worry, mate. We'll get one." I mean, and I'm seeing the runway.
Wow.
I'm seeing the runway. I was never so nervous about flying
Wow.
and no disrespect to Bruce or anything. I just don't need to be in a cockpit ever.
Well, especially when there's pandemonium
Dude,
going on. Like
if
it was all like a Zen vibe when
Yeah.
you went in there, and it was all like, "Hey, just wanted you to see the view." But
It wasn't that. No, there were papers. And I didn't think there were.
So did you stay there while they landed?
Here's what and then no disrespect to Bruce again. You're Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
I literally
Bruce
turned
Dickinson.
because he couldn't see me. He
Yeah.
couldn't see me, and there's no like mirror to look
Yeah.
at me. So I literally went like this when we were landing. I went like this. I turned over to the side because I couldn't handle it. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was coming too fast. So I'll
Right.
never be a pilot. I know that.
Yeah.
It was coming way too fast, and whoever would have flown the flight, I wouldn't. I just couldn't. It was too close, man.
That's
Probably on
wild.
autopilot.
I do.
We're fine.
Yes.
That's fucking
It's
crazy.
one click. This little button does everything fine. So the cool thing about that is flying with Iron Maiden. What I learned, I'm a New Yorker who's grown up, born and raised in the Bronx. Never gone through security like Iron Maiden, dude. You talk about carte blanche. Oh, go ahead. There was no line. There was passports to be done. Okay, passport. The guy didn't even open it. He goes, "Go ahead, this way." I went
Right.
right to the taxi.
Yeah.
They went to the limos. I went to the taxi. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just that's the Iron Maiden experience. They're the best. They're the best of the best. Period.
That's
And
amazing.
fun times.
That sounds cool as hell.
It was a great experience, and I don't think it'll ever happen again because I don't know if they'll do that kind of because Bruce did that plane,
Right.
and funny. On one side note to this, I remember one day we landed and we left the plane. Everybody, even Bruce, left the plane, and apparently the airport took over the plane and they ran into both motors. There were two motors on the plane, and they had grounded us for like 4 days. They had to get new motors. They had new motors flown in for the Iron Maiden plane, and they had to put them on because this airport ruined the motors. So we had to take, imagine that, regular planes.
Right.
I was like pumped. It was awesome.
How did the airport ruin the motors?
They ran into it with a truck.
Oh.
They ran into two motors with the
Yeah,
truck.
but-
Imagine that. And they didn't. They said they couldn't fix it in time.
That's
so
wild.
yeah, so we had to fly to the other two shows. It was great. It was a great experience. I'll never forget that. It was a fun time. We've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate in my life, my career with touring. I have a lot of history, But you know what I'm finding, and I'm in the process of writing a book right now. It's with a friend of mine. And
What's that called?
Don't know yet. It's a great. Have you written books?
Yeah, I've written, but I haven't published it yet.
I haven't published it yet either, but
Fiction or biography?
Memoir.
biography.
Okay.
And yeah, it'll be, there's a lot of stuff. It's probably therapy again. Let's face it. It's
It all
cathartic.
is.
Yeah, it'll come out. And a
This
lot
whole
of,
damn life is one
Yeah.
big therapy process, and then you die.
and then you die. And then, that's it. And then you die.
Wait, I'm almost healed.
Yeah. It is. You get healed, right at 72. When
Right
is it
at
average?
72,
yeah.
I'm healed.
Yeah. Is the life expectancy still for a man 72? Is that
I
what it is?
guess.
Okay, so
We're gonna live to at least over 100.
I want to. I
Yeah.
have some things. I have some people I have to get back a little bit.
Yeah. That's good. That hunger's good.
It's a lot of hunger.
I've been aware lately about like how powerful your words are, and you speak things into existence. You got to be very like, sort of like purposeful with your words. And
do you stop to think?
Lately, I have been.
I've had a problem with that my whole life.
Yeah.
Growing up the way I did. I think as I get older, I've had this intense anger, you know, and I think that helps with Anthrax writing. I actually think that helps the environment when we write.
Right. Well, the music has that super edge to it. So.
It does. It's angry. It's you know, but I think, you know, sometimes going to that. Have you done this with other writers? Have you gone at it head to head?
Yeah, I mean, I've co-written.
Yeah, I mean, have you gone at it with them, like battling?
It hasn't been that much of a battle. Do you do that?
Yeah,
with Anthrax.
With some, sometimes we do, and and sometimes I have to walk away, and sometimes we got to get it out.
What's the battles?
Just riffs, stuff. Well, I like mine better than yours, and all that nonsense. But you know, if you feel really strongly about something, you should. I think you should follow through with it. You know, I think you should. It should be heard. It should be heard. And you know, sometimes you have to stand up. And
how do you guys keep it together? Is there like the
Missy Claus,
Metallica, like some kind of monster, like
therapist? Well, we tried that actually, right, Miss? We've tried. That didn't work. But you know, between Scott, Charlie, and myself, you know, I look, and that just happens. It's friction sometimes. You know, we're currently going through that. Some arguing words, but I think that's healthier for the record. I don't know.
What's like just does it go personal, or is it just about the music?
No, usually? I don't think we'll like, you know, I don't think I hate you, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's more about the music. We do tend to we do say some lines that could get personal and hurt if you need to. You know, I don't like getting there. I don't like going there, but I've learned it's better to walk away at these points. At this point in my life, it's better just to get on the plane and go home. Instead of getting all razzed up, and you know, that's what, after a long time learning that, again, it's therapy and stuff like that. The anger is cool, I guess we use it, I guess the intensity, but it's not cool when it gets counterproductive. You know, it can't hurt the music. It should never hurt the music where you don't want to do that, you know.
How do you guys get it back together if it's gone off the deep end?
Take a little break. For me personally,
and then just like get back together and act like nothing happened, kind of thing?
You kind of, yeah. That's, how'd you know? Are you talking to people?
I've just been a human.
Yeah.
I understand humans.
Sometimes it's better just to say, all right, that was then, and this is now. Let's just move on. You know.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Some conflicts there is no resolution for.
No.
I mean, there's just some conflicts there can be no resolution, and if you want to like remain in a relationship, you have to kind of just let it go, I guess, and just
good point.
And just understand that y'all aren't going to see eye to eye on your perception of events.
Maybe I should have you the next writing session.
I'm ready
with a referee shirt on.
I could be the some kind of monster band therapist guy.
Yeah, I heard there was a lot of great things with that guy. Apparently, he was planning on moving and stuff like that, where they were, and that didn't work anymore for those guys.
Yeah, it was going to be like a cult leader type of vibe.
It's crazy. That was heavy. That was when I first saw that. I mean, I know those guys. I know them since we started. That was a heavy thing they went through. Yeah. I mean, but I think all bands kind of have to get that stuff out. If you're around as long as we are, and Metallica and stuff like that, people ask, how are you still together? I don't know how we're still together. I just think there's something there's a magic that we have that works. And look, to be honest, it's sometimes the writing is just, you don't want to go near it with, do I have to do this again with these guys? And it's so much more worth it when it comes out on the record. You say, oh, I'm glad I stayed through that. I'm glad I played through that. Like you said, sometimes just move on to the next and just let that go away.
Well, you never have lost your gratitude about the situation that you're in.
No,
I guess.
So I know
that's what I've gathered from listening to some of your interviews.
Yeah, I know how lucky I am, dude.
Yeah.
So coming from where I came from, and look, everybody's got a hard luck story. A guy who grew up in the Bronx, dad takes off at 10 years old, family of 5. I was the oldest. No money, went to work at my Uncle Joe's deli store. After school, all I did was learn. I learned Rush records. God rest your soul, Neil Peart.
Neil
by the way.
Peart, rest in peace.
We just
my
go there
brother.
for a second.
Let's do it.
Let's do that for a second. I didn't expect that.
Me neither.
Did you see that? I didn't see this coming.
I didn't see it coming.
that's one of my guys. You know,
Oh, yeah,
as
me
a bass
too,
player
dude.
too, I'll
Me
say
too,
that.
yeah.
He's that's the guy I tried to lock in bass with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I listened to that record over and over.
Which one?
Like a song like Free Will, you know,
Yeah.
Hemispheres, whatever you want to call it.
Hemispheres, like that was
Yeah.
my first acid trip when I was 15. Was to Hemispheres.
How great is that? Come
Dude,
on,
it's the best. In fact, my new song that I was just telling you about, it's for Neil, and,
Really?
and
Good,
it has
good
a
for
line
you.
like Hemisphere. It has a Hemispheres line in it.
Oh, you threw that to him?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
Oh, yeah, well, dude, he's like the man.
And you know,
There is trouble in the forest.
Come on, man, look at that. Come on. And it takes you
There
somewhere.
is trouble with the trees,
Dude.
For the maples want more sunlight, and the oaks ignore their pleas.
Ah,
I mean, dude,
that
shit
went
is genius.
It
dude.
went out there.
I
And
mean,
he made you envision
yeah,
things,
well,
man.
dude,
That's what's great.
like to equate, like, you know, the society, like, you know, inequality with trees,
Yeah.
like that's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
That's brilliant.
I mean, just Xanadu. Just
Yeah,
think about
oh,
these
dude.
things, these crazy things that he did outside the box and experimented
Yeah.
and made it look easy.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I'm so sorry I didn't see that last tour. I wasn't home.
Yeah.
But that
Me-
last tour,
me too.
I was never home when they were in. You know what I mean? And I regret that. But man, talk about a loss.
My friend Greg told me, like, actually, Greg Dooley from
Oh.
Afghan Wigs, Twilight
I
Singers.
love Greg. I love his
Yeah,
voice, dude.
he's a
I
great-
love it. Great writer.
Great writer.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go tour with him for like a couple months.
Please
in
tell him I'm a
March.
huge fan of his.
Oh, I will.
From way back. I think
I'll let him know that, because
just awesome.
we like rapped as when Neil passed, and he said he went to the last Rush show when it came through, and he said they all came out, and Neil came out and bowed at the end, and he had never done that before, and they knew that it was going to be a rap then.
That's just breaks my heart.
Yeah,
it does. You know
it
what
is
I mean?
heartbreaking.
It's just that shouldn't. You just want more. You just want more because people. I don't think there are people like that around.
No,
you know
there's
aren't.
never going to be another Rush.
No,
dude.
there's never another
Come
Rush. You
on.
could try.
You could try all day,
That,
but
that came
forget
up
it.
organically.
Geddy Lee.
Oh, dude,
Damn,
come on.
dude, come on.
Who plays like an octopus?
Fuck.
Who does that? I mean, again, with that sound.
And he's
keyboards
funky as
syncing.
hell. It's like
Dude, he plays like a
the
jazz player.
bass lines. Those are the sickest bass lines.
That's what I used to do when, again, growing up in the Bronx. I grew up in my Uncle Joe's Deli. I come home from school, 3 o'clock. I went right into my Uncle Joe's Deli store, worked till 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, 8:30, I'd grab something to eat, go right into my room and learn the Rush song. Whatever record came out.
How'd you find the bass? From Gene or from Rush or from all that
Here's a
shit?
crazy story. Charlie Benanti, my drummer in Anthrax, we
Right.
grew up together.
He's your uncle?
He's actually my uncle. Yeah.
Right.
So we grew up together in the same house. We would jam together, Rush, all that stuff. But I was playing guitar. I was playing rhythm guitar. And he's the one that pretty much told me, you're playing, and he was right. I was playing the bass parts on guitar. And I heard, you know, when you hear songs, I hear the bass first.
Right.
It's weird. I was just picking that out and learning that really easy. It just came naturally.
Yeah.
And so after that, I tried the bass, and it just felt, okay, I get it. It just felt so normal for me,
Right.
so natural.
So it found you, kind of.
It kind of found me, and
Interesting.
I'm
How
still
old were you when you first started
13.
playing? Wow,
13.
young as
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah.
dude.
And now I'm
Nice.
I'm 19 now.
Now
so
you're 27, right?
Yeah, right. Time flies, man.
Time
It
flies,
is
dude.
quick, man. That's the way it is.
But like, jokes aside, though, like the music does keep us young, though, in the
Absolutely.
spirit, right?
Dude, think about how lucky we are to have music. That's why I have a 13-year-old son now. I'm trying to get this outlet of music into his life because it's not just about video games. With all that's the thing. That's the new rock star now.
Well, right, they
That's
can
it.
actually fill stadiums playing video games. Funnily enough,
Think
but,
about that.
Yeah,
And, you know, and
like,
think about
you
that.
know,
We have to get 3 huge
that's-
bands to do a stadium now.
Right,
It's-
they could just like, oh, I'm playing this video game. I'm gonna fill the
Yeah,
stadium.
I mean, people just watch him, and you know what's crazy? I'm watching my son play this video game, and I'm getting enthralled with it. I'm
Right.
like, I get it, but there's
Right.
not. I'm trying to explain. Look, there's no. You have to be creative. Also, I want you to
Yeah.
be this creative. So I'm leaving guitars all around. I'm leaving. I get a piano. You know,
Distractions for
there's so many distractions
Who
now.
put that paintbrush and canvas in the corner? Weird.
Did you step on that? I didn't. Oh, I was going to move it. Sorry, son. You know.
What's this typewriter doing here?
Yeah, every creative outlet. Look, how about this? How about this? Just everything. But still go back to the iPad.
3 bowling pins to juggle?
Baseball? What is baseball? Yard? You want me to go out to the yard? That would take me away from my iPad. I can't do that. That's what you're dealing with now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't want to be that guy. It's, you have to do this, but there's got to be some kind of push to get him into that outlet. You know, just because so he has something for his life.
Yeah.
I believe this saved me. Music saved me. Let's face it.
Me too, dude.
You know, it does for a lot of people, and I think without this outlet, you know, the whole depression thing with the dad and all that nonsense I went through. Getting beat up every day. You know, I was getting bullied in school and all that stuff when I was young.
Yeah, and have fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's great.
Yeah. It was like a lot of times when you come from a dysfunctional family, like you become open, seasoned to being bullied because you haven't developed those skills of like boundaries and self-protection because nobody taught you. Or if you're coming from an abusive household, actually those boundaries are like taken out of you, and then so you go from an abusive situation into a school situation, which becomes unrelenting. That's my story. I had to go through first grade twice just because I was bullied so bad my first time in first grade.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm not going for sympathy.
Yeah, but
just
still,
like,
I mean, I feel bad.
Yeah,
I understand
it's like so.
It's traumatic.
So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. I remember walking to school every day. It was in Haverstraw, New York. When my dad just took off. We had to give up the house, and this is a sob story. Everybody's gonna hear. Sorry, guys.
We're here for the sob stories. We like them.
So we had to give up the house. Dad took off. Didn't see him anymore. No money. They take the house away from us.
Right.
Go live in like this place next to really low poverty stuff. And so long story short, I'm walking through a pretty bad neighborhood to school.
Yeah.
And these three guys just every day they were kicking the hell out of me. I remember going underneath the car.
You don't know how to defend yourself.
No, there was no defending.
Yeah.
Who taught me how to hit?
Right.
Who taught me how to fight? Nobody. It's me. My face taught me how to fight. You get hit a couple thousand times.
It's weird how people can sense like who the victims are.
The weak, man. It's like the gazelle, right? The gazelle. It's like, all right, I'm going to get that one right there. Here he goes. Ding, 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 ding. You know, that's fine. But you learn, again, there goes great songs. You can write some good stuff from that. That pain brings with you through life. It comes with you through life. So we live. And then we do therapy.
Have you ever tried boxing?
I tried boxing. I was never great at it. And do you find this? I find it interesting because you box. You're a player. Does it ever hurt your hands?
Not really. At one point, I did fracture a finger, but like so. I guess yes, it has. Would be the real answer to that. But that's when I got into yoga heavy because I had to keep exercising so much. So it turned out to be a good thing.
So
but other than that, like boxing's never hurt. My hands are fine now.
That's great.
And I've never had any issues or anything. But I just think like people who come from sort of households like yourself, learning those fighting arts can be super therapeutic, and you never have to spar or get yourself in any kind of situation that could be in any way problematic.
Yeah.
It's just another real therapeutic thing to like. I don't know. It's really cool.
It's crazy you say that because the guy at the gym I go to, he's always asking me to go box with him.
Yeah,
always. I should take him up on him.
You should because it's like.
I will.
It's brilliant.
Really?
I still do it all. I love it.
So you do it all
I love
the
it
time?
as much as yoga. I love both.
Wow.
Those are like that's the yin and the yang.
So with that, so that's your gym too? Is that your cardio?
That's pretty much it.
That's awesome.
I run too, like, but those are the main two things: is yoga and boxing. And then I want to start lifting weights a little bit more, but I don't really ever do that. You know,
I'm always afraid of that because it's tightening me up. I don't want to be too tight.
Plus, as a rocker, you don't want to get all bulked up. It's not really the look.
I don't want to be that guy.
You know, you don't want to be like that bulked up rocker guy.
I'm a lazy ass. The truth of the matter is I really don't want to do it. So I'm a rocker. I don't want to do it.
I'm a rocker. I don't want to be bulked.
The gym I go to, you have all these
dudes.
You
even lift, bro?
You got to see me. I walk through the muscle. I call it the muscle area.
Yeah.
And they're all lifting these heavy things, and I just almost kind of run through it because I'm afraid like one of these guys is going to call me out on this stuff. I can't lift any of that.
Come here, bro.
Try this. You need some pounds.
Put this belt on so your hernia doesn't just jet out of your gut.
My balls just fall to the floor. Shit. I went one day of lifting. That's it. My balls are on the floor now. It's great.
Man, so you guys are jamming Rush songs and stuff, and then how do you guys become Anthrax?
Through Charlie actually auditioned.
Because and you joined the band after Fistful of Metal.
Correct. Yes.
By the way, I had a band called Fistful of Mercy with Ben Harper and Danny Harrison. That's
Did you really?
The side, yeah.
Awesome.
Reminded me when I saw Fistful of Metal. That was like 10 years ago.
Awesome. Wow.
But anyway.
Yeah, so that was Charlie got in the band first. He auditioned. I wasn't. I was just playing. I was playing in my room, and he went. did the first record. I was actually a tech. I was a roadie for them at the time.
Right. So you were. How'd you do the roadieing thing? You just
Very badly.
Yeah.
Very bad, very badly. I was
Yeah.
literally. I knew how to change strings, but I didn't know how to adjust anything. I didn't know how to do, intonation or anything like pickups. There were wires. I got scared. I said, "No, you better go to 48th Street."
And when you were doing that, did you think I really want to join this band?
Not that band. Not
like,
Anthrax.
oh, I'm just going to do another thing.
I just wanted to get involved.
I want to learn.
Yeah, I want to learn, and that was my whole thing. And just watching.
Yeah.
We did. And remember, at those days, Anthrax was a local club band. They were playing clubs. It wasn't like this touring thing, right?
Right.
So. But it was fun. It was fun to learn, and I was friends with those guys. I guess that's where the camaraderie came in, and it was a matter of fact. So when the auditions came up for another bass player, of course I said blah blah blah, yeah, and I
Threw
put my name in it,
in,
threw
yeah.
my hat, and it was so I knew the songs.
Yeah.
So I was playing them sound checks and stuff. So
Yeah.
so it was easy, and that was 34 years ago.
Right.
It's been a good run. So,
1984, right?
Yeah, man. It's I can't believe that.
And then when you first joined, what was touring like? Would you guys tour in a van or what?
$5 a day per diem, per diem. $5 a day, and there was nothing. We were in a van
Right.
across. I remember we did a run with Raven. Remember Raven?
Mm-hmm.
We did a run with them in West Coast, East Coast. There was just no money anywhere, and just kept touring, just wherever we can go. We went over to Europe. I remember with Overkill,
Yeah.
good friends of ours, Overkill, and this other band, Agent Steel, and that was when Chernobyl hit. Remember when Chernobyl hit? Well, again, remember 3 bands on one bus, and I'm not talking tour bus. I'm talking about a Greyhound bus,
Right.
with upright seats, no sitting. So you're sleeping, eating, everything on that bus. There's no bathroom. You got to stop for bathrooms. Long story short, Chernobyl hits. So remember, there's no money anywhere. We were looking to eat. So. And then there was no texting, there was no computers back in those days, no phones. So all we would hear on the news, you better not eat anything. Don't eat the bread. Don't drink the milk, because all the winds from Chernobyl were coming over and poisoning everything, right? So they said don't walk in the grass. It was horrible. I mean, you couldn't. So they would try to feed us food. I know me. I lost so much weight because all I was doing is drinking water. It was 3 weeks of that. I was afraid to eat anything. I had stuffed cheese. Like cheese in my mouth. That was my food for 3 weeks. So I mean, and after that, obviously, we kept going and going and going, and it came to the second record, and it just took off from there.
Right. How did it take off?
Joey Belladonna, we got Joey Belladonna in the band.
Yeah.
It's a different sound vocally, and I just think a lot of touring. We just did a shitload of touring. It didn't end. I mean, I think.
Right.
We've never really stopped touring, if you think about it. Anthrax, that's our thing. I mean, that's how we got our audience. We've never been a big radio band or anything like that.
Right.
MTV never really played us, except maybe that Antisocial. They played Antisocial, I think that song Antisocial for a little bit. But we never got that big commercial radio stuff, which is fine. Which Iron Maiden never did it.
But your big commercial breakthroughs was basically inventing rap rock.
Oh, the I'm the Man thing. I let that. It's funny you say that. And I completely let that slide out of my head because I don't even. That was just. And here's why.
Because it was a gag for you guys.
It was supposed to be the Beastie Boys.
Right.
You know that, right? It was supposed to be the Beastie Boys doing that, and it was all scheduled. They were ready to do that, and then.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was all ready to happen.
Oh, you were going to actually get them.
Oh yeah, and we were friends. We used to play basketball with those guys.
Right.
It was fun, good times. But schedules, blah blah blah. Long story short, when Scott, Charlie, and I went in the studio, I think that was a 1 or 2 take thing we did, just having fun with it, as the kind of Beastie Boys vibe.
Yeah.
And that thing just came out and just took off.
Well, it also invented a new, or helped.
Yeah, I guess helped.
It helped.
Yeah, I guess.
It helped bring in something that was going to become massively popular.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think a lot of times, innovation happens by accident and dumb luck.
It's a happy accident. That's the way I look at it. I don't look at it. Look, I'm not going to say we should have never did that. No, because
Are you kidding? No.
Exactly. You just come, like you said before, just let it come out, and just whatever comes out, right?
Right.
And just even the thing we did with Public Enemy. The thing,
bring the noise.
Bring the noise. We wrote music to bring the noise, and Chuck loved it right off the bat. And I remember we did that. Everybody was worried about the tour we did. Oh, there's going to be race riots. You can't have a metal crowd and a rap crowd. You can't do that. And when we did that,
it was perfect.
Perfect and more successful than anything. It was insane.
It was
all those
insane.
shows were off the hook. Ask Chuck. To this day, he still says that's one of his favorite tours.
Yeah.
One of the best people. One of the best people in the world. Another guy who totally gets it.
Man, I used to worship Chuck D when I was in high school and just all that. Takes a nation of billions.
Oh, he's the best. Here's a great Chuck D story that nobody knows about. Here's how great of a person Chuck D is. Now, there's used to be, I don't know if you guys are New Yorkers, you know this from way back. There used to be this New York Music Awards here in New York years ago. So you remember this, Miss? So Anthrax we won an award. They asked me to come down. I was the representative because nobody else was in town.
What was the award?
Best metal performance, one of those things. So I went down there. My wife went and did the award thing. Saw Chuck there at the show and talked and had a great time. It was fun. Now these, I wouldn't let go of this Cougar. I think it was 1988 Cougar. It was a car that I had because I'm a cheap bastard with that stuff. I would never let it go. So I drove it down there. I parked in the lot, and I knew my battery was going.
What color was it?
It was black.
Okay.
It was black, right? It should have been done, but I would not let it go. So long story short, come out of the awards. Of course, the damn battery dies in the garage, right? I'm totally embarrassed. My wife told me this 1,000 times, right? We shouldn't just took a car down, blah, blah, blah. So I'm starting the car. I'm trying to start it. I'm looking like an idiot. People from the award show coming in. I'm like, imagine that. I'm just looking like the pathetic fool, right? So who comes down? Chuck. Chuck, he sees me. Frank, what's up? I said, battery. Can you believe this? Let's get out of here. He goes, all right. He goes, why don't you just take a car? I guess my wife.
So fucking funny, dude.
What's wrong with you, dude?
So it's so pathetic, right? So, and this is how great this man is. So he goes, why don't you just give up, come back tomorrow with a tow truck? He goes, I'll give you a ride home.
Right.
So he lives in Long Island. He dropped me. I was living with my grandmother in the Bronx still at the time. Gives me a ride to my grandmother's house. How great is that guy, right?
Wow.
To that on his way home. And that's how good of a guy that dude is. That's Chuck D doing that.
That's
right?
amazing, dude.
Right? Isn't that a nice thing? Right? That just shows you it goes a long way.
Yeah.
That's why he'll always be right here in the heart, man.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. It's fun.
I follow him on Twitter and all that.
Smart man.
I love his whole vibe.
Dude, he knows a lot, and he's logical. And when you talk, I don't know if you've ever met him and talked with him.
Never, but I would love to.
Dude, and that'd be a great interview for you.
Oh,
if you can get him
man.
here, dude.
Yeah.
Because he's logical. I like that he just makes sense. The things he says make sense. And it could be anything. And whatever you want to talk about, it doesn't have to be anything. But it's just whatever topic is, he has a way of doing it that makes you, I get it. It makes you feel good about it too. He's that guy.
Something about his voice too that's
heavy.
Just like heavy duty.
I always tell him you should be a singer in a metal band.
Yeah.
Because he just has that. That's what attracted us in the beginning anyway. Listen to that fatness of that voice. It's just
so fat.
It takes over a voice, and it's still to this day. Who else does that? I mean, just think about even in hip hop right now.
Right.
Who has that kind of authority in their voice?
Yeah.
I don't hear it. I mean, for me, it's still oh my god, it's still there.
It's true.
It's great stuff. So he's another one that's really up for me. He's a number one for me.
So when that was happening and like you guys were doing Bring the Noise and everything like that, what was that like to gain that kind of mass fame at that point in the MTV and all that shit? I mean, that's like living the dream type of shit. Yeah,
it's funny. You say MTV, but I think they didn't really catch it the way they should have caught it. Because it was going to happen either way.
Right.
We never really had MTV in our pockets.
Okay.
You always vie. In those days, you had to make a couple $100,000 video and give them. Hopefully, they'll like it. Remember, Missy, these are the days if you have to make a video because MTV might play it and you might hit the jackpot and you'll sell 1 million records.
They didn't play that video that much?
They played it, but not in like heavy. They used to call it heavy rotation. You always wanted something in heavy rotation, like those bands that sell millions of records. Look, let's face it. If something's on every 5 minutes, it's in your head. Yeah. You know how it works, man. So I like it now. All of a sudden you like, even if you hate it when you first watch it, you say, you're not, how pathetic I just said when you watch it instead of listen to it. That was pathetic.
Nah, it's all right.
But it is what it is. But that's what it was.
I watched it a couple times last night, actually.
Yeah.
And then I was reading the comments. Somebody said, slow it down, playback speed to 0.75. And I did, and it rocks like that, too.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
try it. Try it. It's like,
that'd be a good groove, right?
It grooves a little harder almost.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's funny.
Who does that?
I don't know. Somebody was stoned and said, dude, slow it down a little bit. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's the way. On
and I
both
was
speeds.
like, okay, I gotta try it. I was like, you got me on this one.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
It was fun
when you could do something that cool. See that again with that time frame for our career. again, we were never worried about what people say.
Right.
Anthrax is never worried about that.
That's what's cool about y'all.
Thanks.
Is that like, because to take that chance at that point too, because hardcore metal or whatever you want to classify Anthrax as, I don't know the
they just call it thrash,
speed metal,
thrash.
thrash. Like,
I call it metal.
They got
metal.
fickle fans.
Yeah.
Who don't.
Well, just purist.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like fans that like where it's at. I mean, actually, it's respectable. It's just like people that really give a shit and want to know that you're bona fide.
Yeah.
And not fucking around and for real. So it's so it's a good thing, but a lot of times that can become a cage. And you guys were just very sort of like, in a way, like loose in that way, but that took chances. But I think obviously was a great thing.
Right.
Obviously.
At the end of the day, with Anthrax, it's always going to be heavy. That's the idea. The bottom line, it's always going to be, whatever comes out of us is going to be heavy. So you could say, I mean, a lot of people use thrash metal, and I love it. I love the term thrash metal. It's fine. But heavy metal, whatever you want, whatever makes you listen, that's the bottom. Whatever makes this come across our music, then use it. It's just a term to me. But it's heavy music. Yeah. Bottom line. So
did you like Fugazi?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. Did you listen to all that?
I like that a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was just curious if you liked it.
I you know. Back in the days, a lot of things that went in and out, you know, and I like that. Don't you feel like you're a sponge?
Yeah.
I want to listen to everything.
Yeah,
and
me too,
and stuff that sticks, and stuff that doesn't. But I still want to try everything, even if I don't either go like that. It was okay, you know. You say stuff like it's okay, but some stuff you really like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about let me ask you a question for you, Radiohead?
Oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah, me too. Me too. See,
especially Kid A blew my mind.
Me too. I love, and people really razz him for that one too, and I love that record.
Yeah.
I think Tom, they're just a great band. They just they get it. That's a musician's band too. Also, you go deep with that band.
That's true.
It's another one of those. They go deep, and I appreciate that they're writing music.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't care what people say.
What about like Bob Dylan and folk type of stuff?
Yeah.
Or Lou Reed? Did you get into that kind of stuff?
Back in the early days, though, I used to have a teacher, what's her name, Mrs. Petnella. She got me into Dylan because she used to keep me after school because I was in trouble most of the time. But she would play it in the background because I used to have to wait and do my homework because I was in trouble.
Right.
And she would keep me, but she would play background. I said, "Who is that?" And she'd say, "It's Bob Dylan."
Yeah.
And I said, that's how I got into it. I was never a diehard, but I said, that's cool. I respect that, you know. But that's how I would, just listening to other people.
Right.
Just I like getting turned on to stuff, you know. Like if you tell me a band that I don't know,
right.
I would like that. I still like that tape stuff. Remember in the early days we used to, trade tapes and stuff like that. I wish that was still around. But I like hearing from people what works for them.
Yeah. You know? How do you think you're keeping your hunger alive for it all?
I don't think I've written the best song yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think I've written what I need to write. And there's so much. You have the fire. I could tell you have the fire.
I definitely do.
I don't think that ever.
He's on fire right now.
I like that. But I love that you have that fire because you could feel it.
Yeah.
And I think people feel that with me. I'm not close to done yet.
Yeah, no, it's obvious you're not close to done.
I can't wait. We're lucky,
dude.
dude.
Put out an album in 2019 and it rocks, dude.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
I want to go into that project, but I'm like, I don't want to veer off Anthrax. So right now, I want to go back into the A&A project. But like, do you have some Anthrax questions?
I mean,
bring it on.
Well, I was just going to comment before if we're going to the 80s, when you joined in 84, by 87 you were like on the Monsters of Rock tour, which was bananas. Yeah. And then you toured in the 80s with Kiss and so how is that for you, being that young, gaining that success, and then with your idols with Kiss and Maiden for the first time to actually, be on tour with them?
It's surreal. It's surreal. Like, what the great thing about this, you play with these bands and you tend to, I know me, like when we toured with Kiss we were talking about before.
Right.
The great thing about that was I was friends with Eric Carr, remember?
Yeah.
God rest his soul. He's a beautiful man and great drummer to begin with, greater person. Just a beautiful, beautiful person. Friends with him a long time. Playing with those guys and then getting to see them live every night. I stayed literally at the soundboard every night. And just to see how they worked, even if you're not a fan of the newer stuff, or it doesn't matter, how they work the audience. I thought that was very important. And it's not just about how Paul does his Paul thing and Gene does his. I just think their connection. I learned a lot from them. Their connection, how to look somebody in the eye and just make them believe. And you're having the best time in the world.
What do you mean? What do you go into that real quick?
I believe
looking fans into the eye.
Yeah, I believe that's very important. You know, when you're at a show, look,
that's awesome.
It's the truth, and all I can do is bring out truth. I'm a fan. All I want to do when I see that, I want you to make me believe that you're having a great time, because I want to have a good time. I want to be one with you. I think we're connected. The audience and us on stage, I think we're connected. Yeah. I want to make them forget their misery in their lives, whatever misery they have. I want to make them have the best hour and 15.
That's why you're successful, because you're more worried about giving love from you to them than getting love from them to you.
Oh yeah, it's not about that.
You innately know that. That's why you got success.
Oh, thanks. I truly feel that, though. I think it's that important to make. So I saw this with Paul and Gene. You look at them, because I remember being that kid in the Kiss audience and saying, "Wow," and Gene like, look, stick his tongue out, and wow, I believe I'm in. I'm in. And we were one. We were one. Right, and that brought me a long way, and all this. That's what makes me want to do it every night.
That's really true, because if you think about it, all that stuff that they're doing, it's like showing so much enthusiasm for what they are, and for the music they're making, and for life in general.
For life,
it's like an enthusiasm means full of God. Isn't that funny?
Really well put.
You know, well, that's what that literally enthusiasms comes from Latin. It means so
that's actually the definition.
It means full of God.
Full of life, full of hope. That's what music should do, dude. Right. That's what music should do, and that's what I'm getting to with this whole thing. Those guys, Kiss, Maiden, they made me want to get full of life. They brought life to me, I guess. It brings me to life.
But then Gene then in an interview will go, it's all about you can be the but really but in truth he's full of spirit.
It's all tongue in cheek.
It is.
It's all tongue in cheek, and because
obviously you'll know them by their works. And by his works, it's come on, it's so much love and enthusiasm is coming out of that.
And that's a facade
organization.
Kind of. And he'll say he'll say no. He'll say no. That's not about.
It's just about quit being a hippie or whatever. But really, it's come on.
And even if he doesn't realize that, it's
right.
Thank you for doing that for me. I don't know if you realized you did that, but it still that portrayed that, and it came to me like that. That's the way I took it. I just want to thank you, and I've said that to him many times.
Yeah.
Just thank you for being there.
Well, we're the whole phrase, we are vast, we contain multitudes. Yeah. It's like we can pretend we're these limited beings, but really they're each of us has an ocean inside.
And you do. You just open it up, and don't be afraid. You said before, courage.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to open that up, that ocean, and that's the truth. That's what this music thing is, man.
Yeah.
It's an ocean.
It is. Ocean.
So you were saying I cut you off, but we went off on the 80s thing.
Oh no! So then that was just a comment, but I could ask a million questions. I'll just ask one: and if you're okay to talk about this, is the touring with Pantera?
Loved it.
Dimebag.
And then in every interview you hear is Dimebag was the 6th member of Anthrax, and he helped save your career. Yeah. Just
Dime
talk
was there.
about that whole.
Well, funny because I'm playing Dime Bash on Thursday. Rita called me up and I'm playing with Grohl and just having a jam. And Scott and Charlie, we're just having this jam, and it's going to be Pantera and stuff, and just celebrate. Again, those are I call them those are the crazy times for Anthrax, because we were a little lost about what it was a weird scene. It was a weird scene. What was going on then? What was going on in music and metal. So.
What do you mean?
Pantera was it. They were carrying the flag of metal. Let's face it. In those days, Pantera, and we were friends with them. They were, longtime friends and just great people. And they asked us to come on tour. And to be really honest, that was the scariest tour I've ever had, because I remember I love these guys, but drinking. We were never big drinkers, Anthrax.
You guys were sober, but people.
Not even sober. We just never had that. We never drank until that tour. Dimebag literally taught me how to drink whiskey. Rest his soul, and I love this man like no other man. That was an angel on the earth. And I'm not. A lot of people say how great he was. That was an angel. I believe his talent was, again, we're going deep with the sea of music. That guy, he had so much more to give, and that's why I'm just sorry that's not still here.
Yeah.
But rest in peace. But Dimebag became the 6th member of Anthrax just because was so close. And I remember Charlie was very close with Dime. They would talk all the time. And Charlie said, and he just brought up to, hey, would you play on one of the songs? Just send it over. Literally sent it over. Done. And then a couple of records on, it was just like what would you want to do this? I need a new TV. So we bought him this huge TV, and he played on the record. You know, it'd just be one of those great things.
I love deals like that.
It was all one of those great. But he'd come back. Let me tell you something. Those songs would come back, and your mouth would be on the floor with that lead. It's like, what the hell was that? Where did that come from?
Writing credit?
Oh, I don't think. He could have. I don't care. I will give it to him. It doesn't matter. I don't think he wanted. I don't think he doesn't want to be bothered with that because he just wants it for the love. Dime was about love. Dime was about love. Talk about music love. That man, rest his soul, was all about the music. All about the music. It was love. And talk about Die Hard Kiss fans, man. He was the ultimate.
Right.
Him and Vinny, I have to say, those brothers, they are sorely missed in music and not just metal, just music. And on the earth as people, they were great people. I don't know if you ever met them before.
Never did.
Dude, they're just the best vibe. I mean, we've gotten in a lot of trouble around the world, drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those are the best times.
Yeah.
Those are the best times. Fun, great living times. You know what I mean? Those are really living. Yeah, that got us there. I remember one time we were in a casino. Anthrax would tour with the Pantera. Am I telling too many stories?
No.
Oh,
Bro,
I'm sorry.
this is great. Are you kidding?
So,
You're kidding.
We didn't even get to Axel yet.
There's a lot of good ones. So we're on tour with Pantera, and this was the protocol pretty much every night. We go there. Anthrax played the show. Dimebag would come on the stage with a tray full of Black Tooths, which would be Crown Royal and Coca-Cola. So shots, right? So he'd stop our show. We'd have to do it. And this is before the night started, before the Pantera show or anything. So we'd be good there, right? So then we watch the show and drink during the Pantera show. After the Pantera show, go back. They had these cases loads of Taco Bell everywhere. Taco Bell everywhere. There's just everybody in the arena felt like,
Bell.
dude. And so it was great. It was a great diet of whiskey and Taco Bell.
Nice.
This was every night.
Yeah.
So after the Taco Bell, everybody's buzzed. Dime would say, let's go to a casino. Dude, the local casino, they had it picked out already. I swear to God, man, it's almost every night. So we'd be, and loaded going in. We were loaded bad. I mean, we're all farting everything because Taco Bell is just disgusting in every way. So we smell like motherfuckers, right? It just smells disgusting. So there's booze and shit everywhere, right? So we get to the casino and we're taking over like blackjack tables and stuff, all of us together. You know, they're serving us nonstop. We're betting so heavily on these stupid. I mean, there are stacks of money being bet, ridiculous, right? Liquor. What happens is the bosses come up. What do you call the pit bosses? Yeah. Can I help you with anything, sir? Diamond goes, yo, get me some McDonald's. The dude had McDonald's delivered to our table, and we were eating McDonald's playing blackjack at this casino. I'll never forget that. And then when Dimebag lost all this money, they had to carry. I remember this one specific time they had to carry him out. He goes, oh, you done took all my money. Now you want me to leave? I remember they were carrying him out because he had to leave. People wanted the table. So it was one of my favorite times. Good times in Pantera.
That's amazing.
Great souls.
What casino was that?
Midwest. There's a lot of Midwest casinos that you don't know about.
Yeah.
Oof, good times.
Yeah,
man.
when I went back to Ohio, all of a sudden in Cleveland they had casinos and
Dude,
shit like that.
there's casinos everywhere now.
It's like, what the fuck?
Totally dangerous. And then, then you get back on the bus after the casino, and you wake up the next morning in the parking lot of the next show, and I'd be in the well, the bus on the floor, in the well, and just everything all, you got Taco Bell, everything over your mouth. And it was just, you have to get up for the next day.
Yeah, but how do you deal with it the next day? It was pain, so much pain.
It was pain. I have to be really honest. That was the scariest tour. So when I came home off that tour, I was gray. Like the color gray, I looked gray. My wife, and she looked at me and goes, oh, no. She was not having it. So I literally just cut it right there. And I mean, I'm not sober, but I had to cut just drinking for like a couple of months after that. It was rough. I'm not prepared for that. Those guys are pros with that. I couldn't keep up.
I don't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anymore?
I don't do it. Not really.
Does it not work for you at all?
Doesn't really work.
Yeah. I support that.
You know, I wish it did, but
no, if it either works or it doesn't. Say, I'm not a drinker though.
I mean, like I could make it work here and there, but then there's always gonna be that time when it just goes off the rails, and I'm like, wait, how did I get here? What's going on?
And and that stands in the way.
That stands
of life now.
Yeah.
Look, not to be a party pooper or anything, but now, I mean, for me, a couple of drinks gets me good. I mean, if that's in a night out. And then it takes me 3 days later to recover. I mean, it's if I have a night out, I'm like, I'm beat up the next day. There's no way.
My new addiction is kava. I go to this kava bar.
You like kava?
I do.
Why don't I like kava? Because I've tried it.
Because
my wife's a vegan.
It's nasty.
My wife's a vegan, so I've tried
disgusting,
it.
but it's like,
and why are you into this?
Well, it's just it's expensive and it's disgusting.
And that's why you like.
And that's what I like about it.
You need to drink a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot.
And it makes you puke too sometimes, so it's great.
Really? So you drink enough to make you puke?
I have.
And so what does it do for you?
Well, it just gets you a little high.
Does
it? It's just like it's kind of like a lot of times people in kava bars are like, like ex-drunks that can't drink anymore, and so they're just kind of pretending
that's
kava.
Thing.
It's a new thing.
It's a root, right?
It's a root, yeah. It's actually pretty cool. I actually like it.
Like, how many does it take you to feel good?
I don't know, probably about 23. No, I'm just
really?
kidding. Like
it takes a
about
lot,
like
though.
4 of them.
No.
I need like.
I went with you once. I had like
tried
6 or 7. It did nothing.
Nothing.
It was just like brutal to chug it down.
So how does it? Does it hurt the stomach or anything? Because I have
it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, but if you're ever in the East Village, man, and you want to go, dial me up.
I will.
I'll take you to the kava bar.
I'll try it.
It's on 10th Street.
I'll try it. So it's an actual kava bar.
Yeah, there's a kava bar there. Yeah.
Is it a strong kava? Is it like to get you really messed up? Or?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't get you messed up.
All right.
Just gets you mildly, I don't know, euphoric or whatever. I don't know.
All right.
It's all right.
You know what? A couple of, this allergy pill. What is it called? There's this strong allergy pill. I had some kind of reaction last week, 2 weeks ago, and my doctor gave me this allergy pill. And I swear to God, that was one of the craziest and best highs I've ever had in my life. Oh,
really?
And I took one a day.
Sudafed?
What's that called?
No, what was it called? It was something It was something over the counter, but I never heard of it before. I had to ask the pharmacist for it. But let me tell you something. It was legal, and it made me feel like I was all right. Everything's okay, and it really wasn't like a bad high. No bad for the day after. Nothing bad.
Do you ever use psychedelics?
No.
No. Yeah, I do sometimes.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Like what?
Like mushrooms. Like
shrooms, but
microdose. I like to microdose.
How's that?
You just take a little piece, and it just kind of like.
How do you know? How do you know a little piece though? That's my question.
Just because I'm a scientist.
Oh, so you experiment. I like to know how you pick that out though. I like to see.
You're just like, that looks about right.
And that's it.
It's like shaman stuff. You just like break off a piece, and you're like, yep, that's what the universe wants me to take.
Oh, that's it, because it came out that way.
Yeah, because it came out that way,
and it broke off at that piece.
That's called science.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're just letting it flow, and that helps. Does that get you to a good place?
There's all kinds of studies about how it helps with depression and all this other stuff. It's like I think it's beneficial.
Then
like now, like it's definitely becoming legitimate now. I mean, I think it's legal in Colorado.
Oh, so it's not legal here.
Nothing's legal here. Weed isn't even legal here.
But I just saw that, not to get into politics, Cuomo's trying to really make it happen this year. We'll see what happens.
Are they better?
He says he's really trying.
It's ridiculous at this point.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, LA's having a good time.
Come on.
Right?
Like, it's legal in North Dakota.
Yeah.
Get with it, New York City. What the fuck, dude?
Have you been to Colorado?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, just on the one highway, you get high. By driving on the highway, you get high. It's like, whoa, that smells so good. I love the smell of weed. I have always
But in New York, you smell it everywhere. I smelled it coming here from like 9 a.m.
Have you ever? Do you smoke weed?
I can't.
Yeah,
it gets me
too paranoid.
Paranoid. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I still smoke it here and there. I find it like, in terms of the right songwriting, like if you get like your all your things set up and you're ready to record, you can smoke a little bit of a joint or something, and then it helps.
It does. Does it open you? What does it make you
feel?
feel?
It just kind of like opens. I mean, I don't need it,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, as a creative tool, it's definitely.
That's interesting.
But then, like the flip side of it is like, it makes you self-analyze, like in I think kind of a negative way. Like if I post something on social media, then I smoke a joint, or something, I'll be like, why the fuck did I post that?
So you second
and then
guess.
It creates a lot of second guessing.
Wow.
That's the negative side. But if I just ignore that, I know that's coming, and I'm like, okay, that's here.
So you accept it.
You accept it,
and
then you just use it for the creative thing. And as long as you're not like perma stoned,
right.
I think it's fine.
So does it make you second guess the song too? The creativeness of the song?
No.
Okay, that's good.
No,
So
that
it doesn't
part's
interfere
fine.
with that. That's
That part's fine.
Good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't fuck with that. It's more just like who you are as a person. No, you're a pretty good artist, but you're a shit person.
That's actually good. If it makes you realize that, you know what? This is truth serum. It's the truth serum right here.
Exactly.
You're a shitty person.
Yeah.
That's good, though. I'm learning a lot today. Actually, I go home and become a weed head. I would love that.
All of a sudden, you're 420, bro. The next Anthrax album is a big weed leaf on the cover.
This opened me up. Second guess is the name of it. Second guess.
Second guess. That's not bad.
See?
Yeah.
Create. It's good. Good
You're
stuff.
gonna go. You have an Axl question?
Oh no,
Axl.
no. I mean, we could go to the A&A, but if you have any Axl stories, please. I mean, you guys toured with them a little bit.
No, we've done shows. I know Slash. He's a great dude. Axl. The only time I've met Axl. Remember the Palladium back here? I mean, was it the Palladium or was it what was the place on 13th Street? What's still around? What's it called?
The Ritz.
The Ritz.
Yeah,
the Ritz.
Webster Hall now.
Were you there? Were you there?
No, I wish.
I was there.
Oh, Webster Hall.
Yes, that's when I was at that show and went backstage and met all those because that was a great time.
Right.
That was one of the best.
Yeah, so we knew. And we went back and I talked to Axl. He's a really nice guy. I mean, that was way back then, but I haven't seen him since then. I mean, he's a recluse and stuff, and he's famous, and I'm not.
He still rocks, man.
He is, dude. Hey, again,
Dude, I went and saw them even before like Slash rejoined and all that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be kind of goofy. Where did I go? Some kind of big festival out here. I can't remember what it was called, but. And it was with the 3 new guitar players. It was that version.
Bumblefoot, Fortis,
that
probably Buckethead.
And I was like, it rocked. It was so fucking good.
Yeah.
It was like, holy shit.
Well, I'll tell you something about Axl. Did you see them with AC/DC?
Yeah, I saw him at the
Oh,
Garden.
yeah,
Me too.
that
I was there, dude.
Axl DC.
That blew me away.
Yeah.
He did the songs like they should be sung, right?
Yeah.
The older songs, right? Didn't he sound like him?
Yeah, Bon Scott.
Dude, he sounded like Bon for a while, and he paid tribute to it. And you know what's great about Axl? What he did there? He stayed. He knew it was Axl's. I mean, it was Angus's show. It's Angus's band, right?
Yeah.
He stayed back and let Angus be the front man.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? I love that he just. I tipped my hat to him. I said, man, because it's Angus's band. Axl stayed back and was just a singer. And I found that so cool to watch that from and he knew everything. The little parts, the nuances of the vocal styles that Bon did. He really cared. I thought that was great. I thought he was going to do the record with them, the new record, but apparently he's back. So, but whatever. I'm a diehard AC guy, so it's all everybody wins. So, you know. But as far as Axl, but you know, Slash. Speak about Altitudes and Attitude. We did a tour with them with Slash's solo group.
Oh, you did?
Awesome.
With Miles Kennedy.
With Miles, dude. He's awesome. I'm friends with him.
We almost got him to do the. I really want to have him on.
I'll text him and tell him I did it today. So he's a great dude, and we're fellow stomach sufferers, so we understand a lot. He's a great. That band is rocking. Slash's band, they're rocking. And you know, it's funny. You've always known Slash is a great guitar player, but I think until you're on the side, you know, he turns his cabinets behind the band, like it's covered, and it's not coming out on the stage. It's behind. So I was right next to it one day, and I just couldn't believe the stuff that was coming out of there. How great and how on he was. He was just so on and fluent. You know, he's just a fluent guitar player, and you don't really, and you know, he's a god of guitar, but. My God, he's good. He's really
on Aussies' new song too, I think.
I heard. Didn't he write part of it too?
I don't know, but then the solo comes and it's just like it's so I don't know, identifiable and classic already. It's like that's genius.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Slash. He's a throwback, right? He's so many influences that come out in his playing. You know, you just hear it. It's great. And you don't have a lot of that anymore. You don't. You just don't. And I'm glad that's around. So. He deserves all the accolades he gets.
I wonder if he gets sick of wearing that hat all the time, though. That would be my first question.
Let's think about that. If you wear the hat and then you go home and there's a check for $2 million, I'm going to put that hat on.
Good point. You make a fair point, Frank.
I'll wear the hat. I'll wear the hat. Let me wear the hat once. Let me wear that hat just once.
But let me ask you about Cliff Burton, because he was a big hero of mine too.
Awesome. And
I started out as a bass player, by the way. That's why I like.
And you left the club. You left the club of bass and you went to guitar.
Yeah, I left the club.
That's all right. You're always welcome back.
I became a singer-songwriter, but I still play bass. I have a Fender Tele bass.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like a 78 Fender Tele
Don't lose that because they're hard to get now. The good ones.
It's a good one.
Did you ever refret it and all that stuff? Or
I don't think
That's
so.
what I'm saying. Leave it alone because somebody else screwed up on you.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, leave it be.
It only does one thing. It just does bass. It's got that big old thick pickup in it.
You want to sell it?
Maybe. It's worth a lot.
I'm sure. But Cliff, growing up in this thrash metal movement, as we talked about, we toured a lot together. Metallica, Anthrax, and even the early days, there was a lot of tours together. We were on the tour that Cliff passed on, unfortunately. So on that tour, it would be Anthrax opening for Metallica. Watch them every night. And in those days, you used to have the catering room where the bands get together. So we eat dinner together. But after the show, after Metallica show, we'd all get together back there, back in the catering room again, have food before we go on the buses. And those are the days of the tour buses. They weren't really, they were more like regular buses with big windows that they covered up with like some kind of wood or cardboard wood. It wasn't strong at all. Long story short, that's how Cliff died because he went through that. So with the bus. So. One that's vivid in my head that always stands up when you talk about Cliff, one thing that always hits me hard, we used to have this thing after catering, after their show, we would say, after we go back to our buses, we're on our way back to our buses, and one of us would say to each other, hey, maybe I'll see you later. And the other guy would say, yeah, maybe I will. There's something stupid like that. We'd just do something. The last thing I remember, Cliff, I said it that night, hey, he's on his way out. Hey, maybe I'll see you later. And the last thing I remember turning around as he's leaving, yeah, maybe I will. And that look right there, I'm giving you right there for the corner of my eye, that was the last vision I have of Cliff in my head. Damn. And that it's almost scarred in, and it breaks my heart.
Gives me chills.
And then a bunch of hours later, we were on the same path that they drove on that horrible night. And we heard, we came to the same hotel, and we heard the horrible news. Nobody believed it. It was just horrible in every way. But those buses weren't built. The guy obviously fell asleep, but those buses weren't made for impact anyway. In any way. Yeah. So literally, put it this way: you're in a bunk, and there's still glass there, but they kind of covered it with like this. I don't know if it was like thicker cardboard wood. It couldn't have been this thick. Plywood, maybe not even that thick of plywood. Right. And so nothing was defending us. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, when you hear that, it's like, oh my God, and. Guy fell asleep, bus driver fell asleep, blah, 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 whatever happened. It's just a horrible, horrible thing. So, and then that whole thing just, there'll never be another Cliff. Talk about that guy. Innovator.
Amazing.
Innovator.
He played like with a wah-wah pedal, didn't he?
Like nobody could.
He was amazing.
And it's, Morley, Morley?
The wah pedal?
You have that?
No, I don't have that one.
Dude, they have the Cliff Burton one. Check that one out. And I'm doing a commercial for them right now, but I'm telling you, it's totally worth it. It's awesome.
Really?
I just got it. I've been writing some Anthrax stuff with it.
For the bass or
but I use it on guitar. That's what I'm saying. So you could use it on guitar.
Morley Cliff Burton.
Just try it. It's really, it's nice. It's touchy. You know what I mean? It kind of, you have control over it, which I love.
Yeah.
It doesn't pop anywhere.
Right.
So just give it a shot. Morley just gave it to me. Great company. Great company.
Cool.
So long story short, with Cliff, those days, I think another guy way too soon, had a lot more to give.
Right.
And, I would have loved to.
Yeah, he was like a kid still.
Dude, come on. Was he 23?
Yeah.
23. I think about how much more Cliff had to give. And he was a writer in Metallica also. Right. So how would that have shaped Metallica? Not the Metallica, they have their fame. They're huge. Yeah. But I would, just as a Metallica fan, what would that have sounded like? I'm sure everybody thinks that. Yeah. But for me as a fan, it's like, wow, I wonder what he brought for bass too.
Yeah, well, he had a Jimi Hendrix vibe.
Totally.
Like, that innovative, just alien presence, like just that I don't know, something about him.
And he didn't care. He didn't care what anybody thought. He was his own person. I mean, look, he had the bell bottoms on, all that stuff. Jean jacket, dude. That was in a metal band. Think about how cool that. How cool is that?
That's what made him so cool.
Stood out, and he did a bass solo, which kicked ass with that pedal. Think about it, man. Nobody was doing that.
No.
Nobody. He was an innovator. So
he was.
Yeah, people ask me about him because they know, we toured and all that stuff. And all I could say was, I just wish I could have heard what he has coming out now. Because I know it would have been above and something different than everybody else heard. That's
why do you think the universe takes away like some of these people that are just like, like Hendrix, Cliff Burton, like these people that are just like so great, or Basquiat and painting, and just like.
You want to think there's somewhere where all these people are gathering, all these spirits are gathering, and that's my hope, right? Because we're all, you get older, whatever you want to believe, but I kind of want to have hope somewhere and say, wait. You want to kind of hang out in that club.
Yeah, Neil Peart's up there with Cliff Burton right now.
Imagine that jam.
Yeah, dude. Cliff's got yo, dude, I've already got my wah set up. I've been up here longer than you.
It's like, I'll show you all the restaurants. I'll show you all the restaurants later. Yeah, that would be so
Get behind
cool.
that kit. We've been waiting for you, bro.
Look, I got this. Just play it like this.
Jimmy, turn the guitar down.
Jimmy, you're too loud again. Yeah.
Miles, stop being so moody. You're in heaven.
I mean, think about that. You got Jim Morrison singing, right? Anything, that would be good. Pete Moon gets on the drums for a little while, and think about all of that. So all the greats that you want, because of me, and this is my fantasy land. I always think like there's this place that all these people are gathered, these spirits somehow, and maybe when we all go away, maybe that's where we go. Yeah. It's my hope anyway.
It's my hope too.
It gives us drive. It gives me drive to do something great on the earth to carry over. Like, it's like, what'd you do? Oh, I carried this over, so let's try it here.
And to know it's coming, so it's just kind of like, let's dig into each day.
Dude.
Like each day, it's like each day, it's all about just each day.
You get it.
Like
you get it.
Each day, just do the best you can today.
That's it.
Because
you don't know about tomorrow.
You don't know. Nothing's guaranteed.
No, I learned that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago. With life and death, like you could be alive one day. My brother passed.
With your brother.
My brother was murdered, so I learned that day. In fact, it's funny. Yeah. It's not funny, but I wrote this new lyric that I haven't heard Missy yet. I haven't made Missy hear this new song I have. And it had to do with my mother, holding my mother that night as we saw my brother's body on the floor, covered up. It looks like a crime scene. It was a crime scene. But it's all about that feeling. What I couldn't convey to him in words, I think I finally got the words. You know what I mean?
What's the line?
I know the first line is, I know your world is torn apart. Can't pretend that I can heal your heart. I don't know what it all means, but I'm not the enemy. I know what you want. I want the same. That's the first verse.
That's beautiful, man.
Coming from you,
dude, that's really beautiful because it's also, it speaks to confusion in a family structure too, and just sort of like trying to overcome family dysfunction in the face of grief.
Yeah,
it has all that in those lines you just said.
Yeah, it's very that. It's very that. Yeah,
very touching.
Yeah,
dude.
Thanks, man. It hits home. Because all you want to just try to make her feel better. I don't want to. I don't want to do that, bro. I just wanted to make her feel better.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I couldn't, and I think again, music has its way of doing that.
Yeah,
and bringing this emotion out and say, look, I can't heal you, but I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here. I'll be with you through this journey, whatever it is, and that's kind of what it is. Whatever it takes to get you to a better place.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
Yeah,
and that's what I wanted her to know, and that's kind of I wanted to convey through lyric. And I think lyric can do that. I think good songs and good lyrics and can just make you feel something.
God, that's a beautiful. Don't ever doubt that lyric, dude. Like if that's the one you're talking about, like, is this too personal? No.
Yeah, that was personal. Yeah,
no,
that was
that's
it.
not.
I
that's
just thank
not
you for that.
too personal.
I appreciate you saying
that's
that. Yeah,
great.
Because I was questioning.
Like,
I was like,
no,
man, is this
dude,
too rough? Is this gonna mess people up?
No, it's gonna mess people up in a good way because it's gonna
thanks.
help other people heal.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
because you get it. We were talking about this before. I just want to make people. They're having a rough one, man. We can get this. We can get this.
Yeah,
just there's another way to look at it.
That's really wonderful, dude.
Oh, thank
you. I was gonna say something. I can't remember what I was gonna say now, but
we were going to talk about the altitude. We were talking about the altitude.
Where did you meet Dave? I mean, obviously touring with Megadeth.
Yeah, with Megadeth. Yeah. Well, Dave and I have been doing tours forever, and we're the bass players of two metal groups in this genre thing. So we've always had camaraderie.
Megadeth.
Yeah, Megadeth and Anthrax. We toured together a lot, and we were doing a lot of bass clinics together. And bass clinics,
NAMM and stuff like
well,
that.
NAMM, a company like your bass company, like Hardkey, my bass company, a guitar company, ESP, they want to promote their gear, so they ask you to go do bass clinics in front of a crowd.
And
so you invite them in,
and
they hopefully sell some guitars and basses and amps. So we do that. And we do it around the country, and we're quite successful with Dave and I doing it. So we're playing jams. Dave and I would get together at the end of these things, and Dave and we were jamming, having fun. And after one of these things, he said, "Why don't we just start writing songs so we could start doing this stuff?" And at these clinics, those songs became Altitudes and Attitude.
That was his idea?
It was his idea to starting to work together.
Yeah.
So I just started.
And you were already writing songs.
I was already writing. And I started, what do you think about this? Yeah. And everything's like, yeah. And then it just became, and then he came in with a few things, and it all worked out. And then we brought it to Missy and Robert, and thankfully they dug it, and it all worked out that way with Megaforce. So, and then we did some great touring. We had some fun. I don't think we should have done more touring, but it's just our schedules. He's got his own thing, and he's doing a solo thing that he's doing now, Dave, which I don't want to get in the way of. So it's not as easy to tour as you think now as a starting up band.
Right.
So we did the van thing. We did a run of the States. We did a van thing. That was fun. But again, our schedules are pretty crazy. But I like to do it. So now I'm diving into this is what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm diving more into like the solo thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just more of the same. I'm writing songs.
Yeah.
Just maybe putting my name on it.
Yeah.
Right. Taking that step. Again, the courage thing comes into revealing that. And this has always been me.
Yeah.
But how does that happen?
And well, maybe like also if you're going to do solo, then it kind of gets away from the metal thing too, probably.
Absolutely. It's not metal. It's more rock, like the Altitudes and Attitude. It would be more.
But that still has a metal vibe to it too.
Yeah, it does. And this is more rock and roll.
Yeah.
This is more rock and roll for sure.
I feel like that's where you're going, more towards there.
That's exactly it.
Like solo-wise, why not?
Why not? I grew up on that stuff, dude.
Yeah, and plus you are a really great songwriter, so it's like that's
coming from you. Thank you so much.
That's what matters.
Yeah, thank you.
When you're doing that kind of shit.
Yeah, and just again let it go and see.
And
where
if
it
you
goes.
want to tour by yourself, you could do it.
How is that? Can I ask you that? Can I pick your head on that? So how is that? How do you tour on your own? How do you go out and do runs?
What do you mean, like how?
Like you just book gigs and stuff like that?
Well, I got a booking agent.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. And then
I'm saying from within you.
Yeah.
You get a band together?
No, I go play. I do solo. I use like a.
You don't have anybody.
Not lately.
Okay.
Lately, I've been like embracing the solo performance thing again, and I use a looper. Like I do some live looping. I paint live too. I'm a painter.
You paint live?
Yeah, I paint. Like I'll put a loop on, or like I'll make a loop and then I'll sing. Like there's a couple songs I have that just have one chord progression or something, and then I can sing and paint at the same time. So I do like performance art.
This
type
is
stuff
awesome,
like that.
man! Wow, this is true art, though.
Yeah,
true art. You're an artist.
Yeah.
So how does that? It's like when you're done with the painting, will you be done that night? Like a song?
Yeah. I'll be done within one song.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I like to see that. When are you playing?
Yeah, well, actually, my next show is, I think it's going to be February 6th at this museum called Fotografiska. It's on Park Avenue and 21st Street.
Oh, all right.
It's a new museum, and they're going to give me the top floor to, like, fuck around with for, like, 10 days, where I'm going to just go up there and, like, paint and, like, do all kinds of weird stuff.
Wow, you going?
Yeah. I'll probably film it.
And then we're going to film it.
I'll go.
Yeah. And
then if I can get in, I'd love to.
Yeah, of course, dude. Yeah.
I would love to come. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Sure, man. That sounds great.
Love for you to come.
I'd love to. I'd come and jam.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, get you on bass or something, or just do something.
I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I think this is great. That's why I keep experimenting with different people too.
And so like that's basically it. I mean, it's basically And then sometimes I'll have a band too. Like I'm in a band with Peter Buck from REM called Arthur Buck, and we toured as like a rock band with like 5-piece rock band.
So that's feeling that gets it out of you.
I like that.
Great.
I like that too. I
That's
don't always like to do the solo thing, but like lately, like I'm just kind of like sort of coming out again in a way, like, so it's like doing the solo thing. It feels like a return to just sort of back to basics.
I want to see this.
It works for me right now,
and it's inspiring too. It's just to hear this and how you're doing it. I like that, you know.
Yeah, well, I could teach you the loop pedal thing too.
I would love
that helps with that shit, like just to give yourself something to jam off.
Can you teach me that? I would love to learn how to do
that.
This
maybe I'll teach you. I'll teach you and Al Di Meola how to.
I'll do a workshop.
I'll just do a workshop. Yeah.
Invite him now. You could teach him that night. It'll be great. Yeah. I would love to learn.
We'll end up all being in a band together.
Aren't you going out with Dooley and playing bass in his band?
I'm playing some piano, I guess,
piano.
and then
That's new for you.
Yeah, and
that's great.
And then
are you doing? Is that a band? You and
Dooley?
Well,
it's Greg's just putting out a solo album, and I'm gonna go open the tour.
Awesome. Is that playing here too? I'll definitely come.
Yeah,
to
we're
that
gonna
tour.
do Webster Hall.
Awesome. Please let me know. I'll give you my info.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I would love to hear that.
Yeah, and then so I'm gonna be opening and then doing like playing in his band.
Wow.
For a few of the songs.
This is awesome.
Not all of them.
Does he do any wig stuff or?
I don't know if he's going to on this tour, but I think normally he does.
Because you got
at least one or two on a solo.
Yeah.
He just got that voice, man. He just got that. I just love what he does.
Yeah,
he hits it right on. I've always loved his way of lyrically, and he makes his voice match. He's got that rasp thing going too. I love.
Yeah,
you know, it's awesome.
Great lyricist.
He gets to the bottom.
Well, just a unique lyricist too. Yeah. Similar in a way to Lou, in that like he takes subject matter that isn't typical to rock and roll, or isn't overtly explored.
Yeah, where is he?
I would say.
I don't know, Greg. What is he into?
What is he? What kind of music is he? Big music fan.
Is he a music fan, like in general?
Yeah. Just really always up on all.
Prince.
Really?
Up on all of it. Yeah.
Oh, so he is? Okay, great.
Yeah, like we hang out and talk about Hall & Oates. You know, that type of shit.
I saw Hall & Oates on the Anthrax Slayer tour. There's too many slow stories. I'm sorry for these stupid stories. On the Anthrax Slayer tour, this last one, Joey Belladonna, the Anthrax singer, and myself, Slayer's wardrobe person, sweetheart of a girl.
Wait, Slayer has a wardrobe person?
Oh, yeah. And she's awesome.
What do they say? Hey, which black shirt do you want to wear? Wait a minute.
Which
I want that other shade of black. Are you sure? No, go deeper black.
Where does the blood go?
No, give me the one with the pentagram on it, please.
Yeah,
you don't want the 666 one on? No.
Which one?
No, give me the upside down cross.
They're great friends of mine. I love those guys.
I'm just joking.
No, of course.
Yeah.
But they just ended their career.
They just ended it. We just finished their career. Well, they just finished their tour, but that's I love those guys. They're great.
Yeah.
So long story short, they I have a lot of stories, but they're short. Their wardrobe girl told us, Joey and I, that Hall & Oates was playing in the city. We were outside the city. We were playing some outside arena thing, whatever. So it's about a half an hour away. And Hall & Oates, she used to work for them.
Yeah.
And she had all the ends. And we had heard this. So Joey and I, right after the Anthrax show, it was like a half an hour, and then Slayer went on. So we had some time before our bus left. So give us a call, give a call in. So we went there. It turns out, you know the band Train?
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, the tour manager of Train apparently is a big Anthrax fan. So he was our in. He was our in, right? So he got Joey and I from our show. We didn't shower or anything. Came straight and went to see Hall & Oates. One of the best shows, easily, hands down.
Talk about bands,
dude. Everybody was awesome.
Yeah.
You ever watch Darrell's House? Dude, Darrell said, "Why don't you go on? You should be on Darrell's House."
I want to,
dude. You'd be great on Darrell's. I'd love to see that. I'm serious. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just to pick you. I love the way he picks it.
Yeah.
What he wants, and he lets everybody.
Is that still going on though?
He just did another season. I heard.
Oh, cool.
It's coming out. So I love that.
I'm gonna
show,
try to get on it,
dude.
I'm gonna manifest.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
But they did every song that you want to hear the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't try to hit every note in the world, but they did the harmony, the fifth. You know, they did it that way. They did. So even if Darrell didn't feel like he can hit it, he goes, and just do it lower, and it just sounded so rich anyway. It didn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It was just so good.
Yeah.
And then of course we wanted to go say hello to everybody backstage, and don't you know the runner had to go back. Our ride a half an hour back because we didn't know where the hell we were. Yeah. So they had to go back, and we couldn't go backstage and meet those guys. I'm dying to meet them. You know, it'd be cool, metal and the whole thing. You know, the Hall & Oates things, and the Train guys. Train, that dude could sing. That dude in Train, man,
he's amazing.
what a voice.
I like. Is it Drops of Jupiter? Is that the big?
Yeah. Well, no. their career
I like
went
the hit.
down,
Yeah.
and then they resurfaced after that. Hey, Soul
I know that's
Sister.
I know that's a guilty
Yeah.
pleasure or whatever.
You know what?
but
A hit's a hit.
A
And
hit's a fucking hit,
good
and
melody,
that's a good hit.
dude.
Like,
a good
come
melody,
on.
a good song is a good song, right?
Yeah,
Well, Me,
exactly.
Virginia, Drops of Jupiter,
No,
They're
they-
Calling All Angels.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus I know that guy went through the, you know, he dug deep to get there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fair
He's been
fucking
through some
play.
stuff, so
yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
I want to see success.
More
we deserve
power
it.
to you, bro.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Yeah.
I love that kind of band. So they keep writing the hits.
Do you have like any kind of sort of? Do you ever pray, or do you have any kind of meditation thing? Do you believe in
I do
God or
TM.
anything?
Do
Oh, you do?
You do TM?
No, not really. I do meditate, but usually just like in yoga, I use the Ho'oponopono prayer
Yeah.
in my head.
You do
like,
the yeah.
I
I've heard
love
of
you.
that too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please forgive
Does that
me.
work?
Thank you. It works great for me.
TM works for me, and
Yeah.
the only reason why I started to do this is Howard Stern.
Right.
You know, because he's been
big
forever,
into
and
it.
I mean, if it could work for Howard, I figured it
Yeah.
could work for me.
Work for
and
anybody.
his whole family, his mother and father, got him into it years ago.
Right.
So I thought that was a great thing to pass on, and I'd like to pass it on to my son because I mean, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, it's not so bad. Man.
No.
You know, and it's not really that in depth.
No, and the
It's-
older you get, it's not even is it not so bad. It's just a fucking relief to
Yeah.
get away from your dumbass
Dude,
mind.
Totally, and just
Like
not
like
think.
just focusing
Yeah.
on fucking thoughts the
Yeah.
whole time. It's like it's a break from that.
so true. Because
So it's like when you think of like for people who don't meditate, it's like it's a break from your bullshit ass brain.
As your mind
And
is
I'm
spinning,
like
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it's just like
Just
and
stop.
I'm not trying to like insult you, your
Yeah.
personal bullshit brain. I'm speaking on my own,
My personal
my
bullshit,
own,
right, yeah.
my own personal
Yeah.
bull ass shit
It's so
brain.
true, yeah.
You know,
That's what happens because you're thinking so
Right.
much.
Yeah,
You're
it's just
flying.
like, and you identify with thoughts,
Yeah.
but it's like you aren't your thoughts.
yeah. How great is
That's the
that?
thing. Like you go through the metacognition where you like sort of like who I'm afraid. Who's afraid? Who's asking who? Who's afraid?
Yeah.
You keep up leveling your and become the witness.
Yeah, it's so
you
true.
know?
You know, and that's you know that's why. Look, I'm not a proponent. I won't say that.
Yeah.
I just believe it helped me. You know, I won't be praising. I won't be preaching this stuff.
Yeah.
But the TM stuff for me. And I tried other therapy,
Yeah.
you know, yoga's great and all that stuff, but it didn't
Yeah.
get me here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I find this actually works.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, yoga is just the idea is it's like preparation for meditation.
Right. Right.
You know, but it's funny because I take group classes and usually everybody just leaps up at the end, like, and then goes out. I'm almost always the last person in the room.
Well, that's what I can't
Because that's
yeah.
that's my time
That's
to
your time.
meditate.
Yeah.
And I think of it as preparation for meditation.
Do they leave you? Do they leave you alone there?
Oh yeah,
'Cause
that's I go to a studio that like facilitates meditation.
That's
like I was
great.
there for 15 minutes when it was done, and then finally, like at 11 o'clock, the person with the cleanup thing comes, and you get the hint. Okay,
yeah,
I gotta go now. But it was 15 minutes
Yeah.
later. It's fine.
The problem with my gym is,
Right.
you know, look, there's a lot of ladies talking about their husbands and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Who cheated on who? They're all around me. So imagine trying to after your meditation, after your
Yeah,
yoga.
they don't let you people talk in those. You got to go to the good.
Yeah, I know.
maybe
That's
a better
my
yoga
problem because nobody wants to hear your problems, and they're right in your ear. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care. They honestly just don't care. They're just yapping away.
Do you pray?
I do.
You
I have my
are-
own thing.
yeah.
I was born Catholic,
Mhm.
but I'm not. Oh my God, I got to be at the church and all that
Mhm.
stuff. I don't. You know, I have my own relationship that
Yeah.
I believe. For me, it doesn't work for everybody, but I don't
Yeah.
need to preach it to anybody. I just have stuff that is an inner soul that I believe in,
Yeah.
and inner love
Yeah.
that I believe in.
Yeah, me
You know?
too.
You know, I think that's important.
Yeah.
I try to pass that on to my son because I want there to be hope.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have hope and just there's something better
Yeah.
to look forward to. You know,
Yeah.
whatever you want to believe in. I just think be a good person on the earth. This
Yeah.
way, there's something better paying off. I mean, whatever you want to believe in, heaven, I
Yeah.
don't care whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just try to be a good person on the earth.
Yeah.
Period.
And do you feel your brother still with you?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
And I wrote that song. I wrote it
Right.
on that song, on that record. That was my heart talking to him.
Mhm.
It was absolutely me just saying, I know you're home.
Mhm.
I know, meaning heaven,
Right.
whatever heaven means
Yeah.
to anybody. You're home now, and I know I'll see you again. That was some of the lyrics, and my brother, my friend, I'll be with you again. That was
Yeah.
probably one of the lyrics, I think, in the end. But that was my hope from within me, of all my faith, saying, I believe that I'm going to be with you again somewhere,
Yeah.
whatever you want to say, spirits, whatever it is, whatever you want to believe in. But that's my hope. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But it gets me through today. It gets me through today, and it gets me through, and it'll get me through tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so if worst comes to worst, if there is no heaven or whatever you want to think, at least he got me through this life,
Yeah.
believing and with a hope and a kick in my heel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just saying, I have something to look forward to. You know, and that's I think that's important. You need that in this life. There's a lot of negativity around us, man.
Yeah.
You know, politics, whatever you want to think of, homeless. You know, we live in New York, dude. You know.
Yeah.
I think you need something to look forward to.
You do, and you have to like cultivate that state of mind every day. It's a daily practice to get your mind right.
And I think that just the TM meditation, I think that sets you, because I get up, you know, and you just get into it 20 minutes, and you get back into and then get into life, and hopefully you could deal with it, take a little edge off. You know?
Well, absolutely. Like if you focus your mind first thing into like some positive stuff, or like Ho'oponopono or TM or like that, it's like it definitely, you can sort of guide yourself in a great direction.
Absolutely. And I wasn't that guy forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the angry guy forever. And then believe me, after a lot of therapy and all that stuff, and just that's not the way.
It's funny how this like rock and roll business and touring forces you to confront yourself on this level, and almost like you kind of like become this person that gets into these sort of states, because in order to like remain on tour and keep doing your job, you have to figure out these like ways to sort of trick yourself into mental health.
It is, because if you don't have that, dude, think about it.
Yeah.
And then why do people go to drugs? Right. You think about it. They want to get away. I get it. I totally. It all makes sense. Drinking, drugs, and that's fine. I'm not advocating. I'm not pulling away from it. My thing is, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather not make that take me away. I'd rather get another natural way, whatever you want to call it.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
It's just not sustainable. You could sustain it for like maybe a tour. You could sustain it.
And you get the
like,
rock and roll thing. That's fine.
Yeah, like fine, but dude, it's not sustainable over the long haul.
And then what? You know,
it's not going to work for you.
And then I'd rather write. Then you can't. If you do that, that stands in. You were saying this before. It stands in the way of your music, of writing, whatever it is. But it stands in the way of writing that next great song.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. You know, so it's important, man. You can't. It's right in front of you now, right? It's all right in front of you if we want it to be, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you do next in the potential solo
Thanks,
project. Man.
I am too. Thank you.
I think that's going to be real interesting.
Thank you.
You know.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to make you hear it when we get it.
I can't wait.
Absolutely, thank you,
dude. Thank you for doing this.
This is awesome. I had such a great time. I'm not even saying that.
Wonderful to talk to you, man.
I learned a lot today.
Honestly,
thank you, man.
man.
This is awesome in a real way. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
This is awesome.
Robert.
Peace.
Peace and love, y'all.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. That was just fun, man.
Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.